Transition in. Check. Looking good. Check. Guess. Check. That's how we do it right here. I see everybody already in the chat before we get started. Yes, yes. Hashtag free Kumar. Hashtag blame Kumar. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of blaming that's been going around for us starting a little late, but you know what? It's okay. You know, we might not always be here on time, but we're definitely going to have a good time. So what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the podcast is real. I'm your host, King Drown. And you might notice, we might as well get it out the way now. As you see to the side, I'm not here with my nephew right here, but he will be joining us very, very shortly because I see him on the side over there right now, and I'm getting ready to pull him in as we speak. So you know what? That is perfect. Perfect timing on his part. So you know what, guys? Let's go ahead and slide him in. Go ahead and slide him in. Just when I was getting ready to get to our amazing guest, and don't worry, we will get to our amazing guest over here. So don't worry about that at all. So, can you hear us, sir? I can hear you perfectly fine. So that is what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this over again. So, he's here. I told him to rest. He should be taking a sabbatical, but he's here, ladies and gentlemen. If anybody has been on his social media, they know some things have been going on. But you know what? That is completely okay. Hear, well, I literally just unmuted him on my end.
Oh, okay.
So, I wanted to make sure I could hear him before I unmuted him.
Right.
But you know what? I appreciate the chat. Y'all are always here for me. In fact, you know what? Give yourselves a round of applause.
Oh, so this is what it feels like. We can't hear it. This is what it feels like. We can't hear it. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, y'all see the state that this band is in, but he is still here. But that's okay because he is going to be in time to perform and shake the stage at momocon. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, my nephew, Mr. Vocal.
Yes, sir, man. The man, the myth, the legend.
Oh wow, this is what it feels like. Okay, hello. Excuse me, we here. I'm slow recovering right now. You feel me? I'm talking with my teeth, but I'm doing the best I can right now.
I told him he sounded like Kanye West when he had his jaw wired shut.
Oh, man, through the wires.
Yes,
man. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, man.
But hold on a second, sir, because we got two guests here with us today.
Oh, go for it. Bring
like I said, on the first side, we got a man that is always out there. I swear, I don't know where he gets all these brand deals from. You know what? Actually, I think I kind of know where he gets these brand deals from. But you know what? We'll get to that here in a second. We talk about a man that shakes it in cosplay. This man that shakes it out there with these interviews, content creation. I don't know what this man really can't do. But you know what? He's got a lot of talents, but today he is going on the hot seat. Ladies and gentlemen, the homie Mr. Kumar!
Yeah! Did a good time. Thank you for having us once again. Thank you for having me once again, Vocals and Drill. I appreciate it. Getting to do it properly this time. No shortcuts.
Joe said blink twice if you're compromised. Yo, relax.
Just no disrespect at all. We at one. We're at peace over here. There's no disrespect. No disrespect. You're always welcome. They can get the Dragon Ball hero Dragon Punch in my end. So it's all good. You always welcome. You're always welcome.
You're always welcome. And last but not least, for now, we'll get into that. We got the man that has these crazy anime skits. This man knows his anime knowledge. This man will be walking around these cons with boards, starting arguments, starting fights. Look, people take their hot takes out on this man. But you know what? It's okay because everybody turns into a troll when they see him walking. But this is a man that I am convinced that I don't know if anyone's a bigger One Piece fan than this guy. I don't know, but we'll find out one of these days because he takes One Piece very, very seriously. We are talking about the legend of Shonen Showdown. Give it up for Raw!
Thank you guys again for having me. I appreciate you guys, man. For real. Thank you. Thank you so much. Everybody in the chat too. We see y'all. Thank you guys for pulling up. This is dope. Thank you guys.
So what's going on? Y'all a duo now? Like, what's going on? Y'all be doing a lot of. I've been seeing what's been going on. Y'all have a lot of videos going on lately. Are y'all a duo now? Like, what's up,
man? Now we in the lab. You feel me? We working. We working right now.
Let's just say there was an offer that it was too good for Rob to pass up on. So
so we flexing. Got it. Respect.
Flexing.
Respect. Hey,
man.
Hey, I ain't saying nothing.
All they do is the important stuff. That's why they're here on this podcast today.
Going out to Universal Studios and stuff. Like, I ain't see you. Are you crazy? Are you dumb? You better be lucky. We was actually planning on going at first, but we was like, nah, we good. So you better be lucky. You better be lucky.
You know what? That is actually perfect.
Whatever though, for real.
Because that was on the docket today, so I'm gonna go ahead and speed up to that right now. Let's talk about y'all going to Universal Studios
and doing that little dancey trend. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, that's all. That's this guy.
Yo, sometimes you gotta show up for the trend, and I had no other ideas to do, so I was like, fuck it.
You know what?
That's all I can think of.
I told you.
Before y'all continue, guys, I actually have to bring this up real quick, and I'll get to the person that just popped up in this screen. But last week I talked about how I did the trend earlier, and I did it in my Michael Jackson cosplays, and made sure I did a different Michael Jackson move to correspond with what outfit I had on. Not only has it not been doing very well, this is basically moved up week that was, because this happened literally in the past week. Oh, as my nephew will say, sometimes be humble, whatever. Yes, I am used to viral videos. That is fine. So it doing numbers isn't really the thing for me. But what is that earlier this week, I got a comment on that video from one Killer Mike.
Yo, Killer Mike,
yes, sir.
Crazy.
But guess what? It gets even further than that. I hear you over there backstage. We will get you in just a second because I got to build your spot. But as of this morning, I have been reposted by allhiphop.com.
Let's go, bro. Love to see
I was like, I'm just like, I don't understand, man. Like, that's just... Like, apparently the culture is messing with this video because it's like I'm reaching rappers, I'm reaching all of this stuff, and he's gone. I guess he thought we couldn't hear him, but it was like we were busy. Y'all might not know what we're talking about, but y'all know what we're talking about here pretty shortly. But anyway, continue about the Universal trip. I just had to throw that out real quick when you brought up the dance trend before I forgot later on.
Hey man, as you should. I saw it, I was like, man, I gotta hop on this too. So thank you for that. That was some inspo for sure.
But no, how was it though? Like I said, the floor is yours. I want to know everything.
Hey, we were there for work purposes. That's really much it, right? We had to go 2 days because there wasn't enough time to like really enjoy it if we didn't take 2 days. So thankfully we did. We went to LA earlier so we could actually enjoy ourselves. But the day that we actually went, which was the Saturday, it was just strictly business, right? As usual when it comes to content.
No, it was a good time though. The first Friday we went, we went on the rides. We went with a bunch of people, had a good time, and kind of just did a little scoping, see what's out there. And the second day was more of a like work type thing. So we shot some videos.
Unfortunately, the weather sucked in LA that weekend.
It was cold and rainy.
So not ideal, but got to make the most of those situations. Right?
Yeah, but we made it work though. Really, I was like 80% of the reason why I went there is to experience a Mario Kart ride. So I've been waiting on that for years. So the fact that I got a
Mhm.
chance to hop on it, I was like, yeah, no, it's good. It's a good time though. Good time. But
Good time. Wait, that is hold on. When you say Mario Kart, you supposed to have a little excitement right there. You was like, oh, it's good. It's good. Like, what you mean it's
no,
good?
because
Hold
here's
on.
the thing.
No,
Here's the thing. I went,
was it good? Was it
no. Here's the thing. The line. So you know how they have like they build the entire set. You walk through Bowser's castle and everything. The line and the aesthetic and everything, they crushed it. Like it was just like it really felt like you were in a Mario game. Like no lie. But once you get on the ride, it's like part of it is there's like this augmented reality glasses that you have to wear, and it's like you don't know because you kind of when you're on this ride, you want to look at the set, but you also have to like be in the game and like kind of like play the game, because you have like items and stuff. So it's like trying to figure out, what should I look at? Should I look at the set or should I look at the glasses? And that's kind of the thing that's kind of annoying where it's like, all right, maybe I wanted to go on it maybe 2 or 3 times so I could do like, all right, one time I'm not gonna worry about my score or anything like that. Let me just look at what's around me and then hop on it again to be like, yo, all right, let me see, how it is once I'm actually playing the game. But then it's, like everybody and their mom was there, so it was just like you can't hop on the ride twice without waiting another extra 30 minutes, 40 minutes, hour, whatever. So and that was one of that. I think the Mario Kart ride was the first ride that closed during FanFest nights because they had like the Harry Potter one closed at midnight, the Jurassic World one closed at midnight. Some of the other ones closed at 2 a.m. like Simpsons or whatever. But that specific ride, Mario Kart, I'm like, because they knew everybody wanted to go pull up for that. Like they was like, yo, 10 o'clock shut down. So I was like, all right. So I'm just glad I got a chance to go on it though. Yeah, and everything else was dope. It was a good time.
All right, love hate. I hear it. Love hate.
That's all right. Yeah, no, love to hear it. Love to hear it.
Also, Nexus, I see you in the chat. Relax, okay? Relax, because if it's Smash Bros. Ultimate, you know what time it is. All right. So I'll let you have it though. I'll let you have it.
No, like he's just gonna let it have it. So what we're gonna do, because I need a sound check for you over there on the other side, sir.
Yellow, hello me. My shit.
Oh, who just jumped in?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yo,
Hey.
Leon, what's good, bro?
What's poppin', Rab? What it
Yo,
do, bro?
What's up, bro? Let's go.
He in here.
Appreciate y'all pulling up.
Okay, I think I officially hear him now. So we're gonna go ahead and do this like this, ladies and gentlemen. Jasirii!
Yes, sir.
Fuck on. JA is just most definitely in the building now. You do Jamaicans on the stream. This is crazy.
Yo, Aguiz.
What's up?
What's going on, King of New York? Welcome in. How's your day been?
Average life of being a superhero, hence the miracle shirt, you feel me? Like, but it's one of them days. It's one of those days, But on the bright side, I got food.
Oh, he got his food.
That's what I was saying. Let me see what you have. Let me see what you have.
He does.
Hold on. You can't just throw that on about there. You gotta.
We know what that means. Then hold on a second, because we got something that we got going on. So we need to go ahead and cut to what is Jasirii eating?
And today with Jasirii, we have some salmon, but not just air fried salmon, with a sweet potato, because we need them games before DreamCon. You get what I'm saying? But it's not just regular, because we have it sauteed with the sweet pepper, the red peppers, and the onions and the mushrooms. Because today we got it honey garlic glazed. You know what I'm saying? Just like the baddies. And I love to be here. Back to you, Drell.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was what is Jasirii eating. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get him a sponsor. I want us to have what is Jasirii eating sponsored by insert name here. That is the
Mhm.
dream.
That's a fact,
But yes, you know what? While y'all were there, I'm glad y'all had an amazing time at Universal. We're gonna have an amazing time in a couple of weeks down at momocon.
Mm-hmm.
So it is definitely going up, business, personal, everything. It is going down. Hold on, what's going on in the chat right now?
They're
Don't
saying
feed
that
him
Rob is
anything.
cheating.
Oh my goodness.
I listen. I don't know what's going on.
What's
All right.
this infatuation with wanting to keep Kumar prisoner?
Yo, I don't know what I listen. All you seeing is AI in chat right now. It's all bots. Don't believe him.
He's an
Don't believe
impelled
anything that's
down.
going
Impelled down. He crazy.
Not impelled.
on.
Yo, nah.
It's definitely going down. Hold on a second.
Like, what's goody chat? Oh man. Also, I am very jealous of y'all. Y'all look like y'all had mad fun.
Look, they just got no. Hey, just here.
Okay,
Don't
we're
bring
gonna
that
have
up.
even
Don't
more fun
bring
at
it up.
MomoCon. We're gonna have even more fun at MomoCon if you guys are going.
Yeah, you know they're gonna be there.
Nice.
Look at this.
Oh yeah. I'm an official content creator. I have to be there.
There you go.
Hey.
That's what I'm saying.
See, they all of them are like the greatest up in here.
I'll be in my bed playing video games.
You will
Damn,
not
he
be in your
capping.
bed playing video
You're
games.
not making it out to Momo?
He's capping. There's no way.
don't let that man fool y'all.
I said that hasn't been a moment
That's
that
what I was
Miss
about to
Jasirii yet.
say. Like,
He is advertised to host a party that weekend.
Me?
Hold on now.
I will obviously be there.
Oh, now he frozen. Now he frozen.
I will be at MomoCon. Of course, I'll be doing cosplays, but of course, I'm also going to be doing a lot of other content. I'm going to be conducting interviews because that's what we do there. And it's time to go ahead and get this brand, The Podcast is Real, up and running. And I got a couple of things that I'm going to be bringing with me. So I want to go ahead and show one of them now. The podcast is real. I had to make sure that button's working. When I am interviewing people, I'm not going to be interviewing people with just an ordinary microphone. No. I am going to be interviewing people with the podcast is real microphone.
Oh,
I am official in this piece, guys. So
There you go.
worldwide news here. King's Rail on the premises, and we are
Branding
going to
is
get
super
these interviews
important.
done.
Wow.
Yes, this is my new baby. So it is time to completely get the brand out there going.
Yeah.
I mean, you see Rob's t-shirt over there, so
Man, I'm just trying something, you know.
branding is very important. So that's good that you got that going for you. You know,
Branding is very
little
important.
details, get noticed for sure.
In fact,
Something
hold
like
on.
a mic.
I got one more thing. I got one more.
See, I've been in a coffin for a couple of days. What he been doing?
Bam!
Get my sponsor
Hey!
shirt. Hey, look at that. T-shirt gang. Sponsor showdown.
Man, y'all up. Well, I don't know why they say
Pockets and plane tickets to Atlanta.
Yes,
why y'all let Kumar fool y'all? That's
representing
crazy.
the podcast the right way. Like, I am going to have the brand represented all weekend long. These are just things that I've been working on the side and in
There
the
you go.
back.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
But now, man, Kumar, what you got? Any cosplays you bringing to Momo with you?
2 last minutes, so no. Also,
Damn.
too broke. Nah, I
See,
mean,
he don't
honestly,
cosplay
when it
for
comes
real.
to cosplay right now, I'm just like, I don't think there's a character that's been out in recent, whether it's whatever cartoon medium, anime, TV shows, that's really like
Spider-Man.
making me want to. But that's the thing, Spider-Man is not for to like 2027, 2028, right? So
Spider-Man lives forever, bro.
it does, but it's not the right time. And again, like I was saying, there hasn't been a character out there that's been making me want to like gravitate to want to make content about, because that's really like, I don't really cosplay like that. I only cosplay if I think it services the content I really want to make. So no one's really been out there really pulling for me to like want to be about so far. So kind of just been sticking to just regular regular shit when it comes to conventions.
Gotcha. See, normally people will cosplay, you know, like if there's a new season of an anime coming out at that time, or a new anime in general coming out at that time, or maybe even superhero. If there's anything new that's normally coming out around that time. And
Right.
I've been kind of struggling with that because I do know that pretty soon they're going to be doing a trailer for the Demon Slayer movie.
Right.
And, you know, so I've contemplated whether I'm going to bring a Demon Slayer cosplay down there, but everybody knows the Demon Slayer cosplay that I tend to know to do. And I'd already announced his retirement last year. So,
hey, man, that's how you live it, you know?
Ain't nothing to pull a Jordan.
bring him out of retirement.
Listen, I'm just saying it's been done before.
Actually, to be fair, if anybody truly read my post, I said I was retiring him in 2025. So he's not quite done yet. I made that very clear that this is officially in a retirement tour for the guy. But no, man, but that is definitely, momocon is definitely going to be going up. And I know within the past week, I know we kind of already dove into the week that was a little bit already with the things that we've had going on. But is there anything you guys are currently watching, Kumar, Rob?
We were catching up on Windbreaker and Fire Force recently, since they're out right now. We got to catch up still with Lazarus, and we want to, and 2B Hero X, which is that Chinese anime that's out right now. We want to start Your Forma.
Your Forma's on the list.
We heard it's really good. Aside from that, I'm trying to get this man to freaking watch the rest of Castlevania.
I watched the first season already. We knocked that out.
We watched the Devil May Cry anime on Netflix.
Yeah, DMC is done.
I saw that.
Yeah. So we keeping up. We
keeping up, but like, you know, this guy always wants to work. So.
What do you? I always. What are you talking about? Hold on.
You sound like his wife, bro. You sound like his wife, bro. What's going on?
Yo.
You know what it is, vocals. I'm. You know.
What are you talking? What's going on? Hold on. What y'all got going on? Cause I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Man,
you heard that? He's not even here for the love of the game. He just here so he won't get fined.
That's crazy.
That's Hollywood shit, as expected.
Okay. It's okay. There's been a couple of videos.
But it's Rob. You knew this already.
Rob going through the motions confirmed, guys.
Ain't no motion. Stop. Yo, nah.
I done said it 5 times already. His hype pays for my rent.
Kumar just sounds overworked.
Why y'all listen? Why y'all let Kumar play? See, this is why, man. It's all right. Operation Expose Kumar coming soon. Because this is crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah, okay. Well, I know with you being the big One Piece fan out there, Rob, did you see Luffy throw out the first pitch?
Did I see?
Yeah.
No, he's not. So that's the thing, though. He's not like, he misses all these key moments. Is he really a fan? I don't know.
Wait.
Nah, remember Luffy watched the game?
Yeah, I saw that.
No, he didn't see that.
I didn't see that.
He didn't see that.
So I'm just making this up.
Yeah, he didn't see that.
Copy. All right, what else am I making up?
He actually is a celestial dragon. For those of you in the chat.
See, yo, don't listen to Kumar. Yo, Kumar be capping, bro. Don't listen to Kumar. Yes, I've seen the first pitch. I've seen Luffy go worldwide. I seen the live action that's coming back. You know what I'm saying? I've been. Listen, I'm tapped in. I'm tapped in. So, don't listen. He's just mad because he's still in Alabasta.
I am,
and it's been how many years? So don't listen to him. He's the last person.
Is he shaming me for being an early One Piece star?
Oda gave you. Hold on. Oda gave
you.
Oda gave you 6 months to catch up. There was a 6 month.
And he's still shaming me. He's
6
still
months
shaming me. This is not very One Piece like.
What board does Oda have
I started the journey. Shouldn't you be happy that I started the journey?
And when? 1997 is when you started, brother.
Yeah, you know, and then some people fall off and they find their way back. You know.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So I
See,
fell
me
off
personally,
then I guess.
Nah. Chill.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah, he switched up.
You gotta watch that.
Okay.
No, don't get me. I'm telling him. Nah. See, he's doing himself a disservice.
Come on.
His whole freaking brand has been about One Piece already, and now you guys are seeing in the content he's diverting to other fandoms, right?
One Piece.
He's done Invincible stuff. He's done Arcane stuff. He did a Has-Been Hotel content. You see the Nintendo Mario content.
Hold on.
Should he not be doing a Castlevania draft board with the characters? Y'all know how many great characters are in that show.
Hold on. Let me ask y'all something. All right. Kumar is the biggest advocate. He loves Castlevania.
Yo, it's a good show.
He loves Castlevania, right? Have y'all ever seen Kumar make a Castlevania video yet?
Yo, I freaking had. Yo, don't.
Oh, no. Let me ask. Where y'all go?
Push the button. Push the button. Push the button.
Where's the Castlevania video? Yo, if you're in the chat right now, have y'all seen Kumar's Castlevania video? Y'all know I make videos on One Piece. Y'all know I'm tapped in. I'm a fan. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know where he went.
Where did he go? Like, he left.
I'm just asking y'all see, because I've been waiting. I'm like, yo, Castlevania. I have not seen one video. I haven't seen a tweet. I haven't seen nothing. No merch. Nothing. Like, what's going on? You feel me? But
what's up, life with anime? How you doing?
Oh, Joe P in here. What's going on? What's going on, man?
Oh, he brought evidence. He brought evidence.
First of all, hold on, wait, guys. This is the first time showing.
No,
this is the first time showing. I haven't seen it
because he's asleep.
I haven't seen it.
All right, so this is one of the greatest POC characters of all time in Castlevania, Isaac. I have this. This is my favorite character in that show.
Mm-hmm.
He's a god.
Secondly, you just dusted that off?
Made content. All right,
you just dusted that off?
Nah, that's been on the wall. What you talking about?
Okay, I'm making sure.
All right, I gotta get close. All right, so I literally got a freaking puzzle made as me and Perry as Castlevania characters. I got a puzzle made, and I made a video about it. So don't talk to me about this. And I bought money, had this commissioned to be made as me being one character and Perry's another character. It's a freaking puzzle, and I made a video about it because I love. This is based off the season 2 of Castlevania. So. Okay. You know, you would know, but you haven't watched. You only watched the first season.
All right. You play.
All right. But I digress. I'm just saying, you guys see how much he does with each fandom, like the draft battles, the anime war. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's a lot of freaking strong characters in Castlevania. The fight scenes go crazy too.
And I've watched the first season.
That's 4 episodes.
You can't even get to Thriller Bark. What are we talking about?
I've watched 100 episodes so far. 100 episodes doesn't work. 100 episodes of One Piece does not work. What do you mean?
Hold on.
Hold on. Let's do the math. He's watched 1 season of Castlevania. The first season, which is the pilot season, is 4 episodes. That's 30 minutes.
Hold on.
He watched 2 hours of a show. And I put in, remember, this is One Piece, so it's not entirely 20, 30 minutes. But, you know, especially with the intro, outro, recap. I watched, 100. Let's do the math. 20 times 100.
Kumar, relax.
That's work.
We not One Piece. Come on, it's on a different plane. You need to catch up on One Piece. You know what I'm saying? That's his bottom line.
I'm just saying.
I can finish Castlevania, but you got to finish One Piece.
And you could be putting out the fun draft battle bullshit in the anime war with the characters, and if you finish it.
Okay, as soon as you do a review.
Why? Why I gotta put a review? I got something made. I used physical money to get this made commission, and I made a video about it. Okay, so there is a video about it.
But I want to hear you break down your top 5 favorite characters in Castlevania. Can I get that video, please?
All right, watch season 2. Maybe we could get that.
Oh, so all right. So once you get to Marine Ford, once he gets to Marine Ford, I can finish season 2.
No.
Why not?
How many episodes is Marine Ford arc?
It doesn't matter. That's
what do you mean it doesn't matter?
Hold on. That's half of Castlevania and half of One Piece.
How many episodes episodes are in the Marine Ford arc?
Oh,
count. Tell me. Give me a number. Give me a number right now.
You have to get 2 Marine Ford. I didn't say you got to complete it. Get 2 Marine Ford. You're just gonna complete it on your own because it's gas.
How many episodes is it gonna take from 100 to Marine Ford? Tell me. How many physical episodes do I have to watch to get there?
Listen. Maybe a couple hundred. That's just reality.
But a couple hundred, he says.
But it's One Piece.
So you're gonna wait for me
Like-
to watch a couple hundred episodes when you could binge watch Castlevania in 2 days.
Yes, because that's your problem, Kumar.
No,
You writing the show off because it has more episodes.
I'm not writing anything up.
It's not my fault. I can finish all of Castlevania in less time than it takes me to finish Alabasta. That's not my
And you will
problem.
get peak story, peak fights, and you'll be able to put on
Hold
content
on,
that
hold on.
makes
How
sense.
do you know what's
You never finished One Piece.
Because you
I have-
you're still going on,
And I have
so
not seen one video on Castlevania yet. I'm asking
You
the
can
chat.
watch this video. It's not deleted. It's still on. You can go watch it.
He's gonna use that
Everybody here has
damn
seen me make a video
thing.
on One Piece. All right? Everybody here has seen me make a video on One Piece. I have not seen you make a Castlevania video.
Just
since I've been
because
here.
you haven't seen this video does not mean this not content made from me about the IP.
All right.
I'm just saying he's doing himself a disservice by not reaching out to that fandom because it has everything that is Shonen Showdown, the fighting, the characters.
And I feel the same
power
exact
scaling,
way
the
about
power
you
scale.
with One Piece. I
You know
feel
what's
like
crazy?
you need to make One Piece videos.
You know what's crazy? I have made One Piece videos. That's what I don't understand.
And you're not caught up. What are you doing?
So you are you
Hold on.
keep catch up.
Hold on. That's one of the. Isn't that one of the biggest videos on your channel is the One Piece video?
Which one are we talking about?
Oh, here he go. Now he's
Which one we
switching up.
talking about?
Now he's switching up.
Which one are we talking about?
Watch One Piece, Kumar. Is gas. Yo, in the chat right now, are you One Piece? Are you Team One Piece or Team Castlevania?
Wait, someone
Put it
said
in the chat.
Castlevania is match short. There you go. You can finish that right now.
But short does not always mean that it's better. That's
I'm
what
not saying it's better. I'm saying you are doing yourself a disservice by reaching out to another fandom, another
Jasirii,
demographic, by
Jasirii.
not finishing it and watching this
Hold on,
damn
hold on,
show
hold on.
so you can make content about
Hold
it.
on. Jasirii, who's behind you right now? Luffy or Alucard? All right. See?
Yeah,
It's
but
done.
we're talking about Castlevania as a show, not the idea itself. Castlevania is older than the video game. What are you talking about? The next is literally a genre of video games based off of Castlevania called Metroidvania games.
Did you play him?
Yeah, I played Symphony of the Night.
I haven't seen no streams.
That's it. We talking Super Nintendo NES days. What are you talking about? Before content was even a thing.
I'm like, hey, look, Marco said, "What the heck is Castlevania?" I rest my case.
He crazy.
I rest my case. I'll finish Castlevania for sure, but you got to watch One Piece. That's just really what it is.
Yeah, I watched 100 episodes. You know, it's a journey. It's not about
been
the speed of the
3,000
journey.
years.
It's about how you even get there. Don't worry about it. And you know what? All these remakes, the remakes are coming out or whatever. Which studio redoing the East Blue arc or whatever? I'm gonna get to that anyways. Everybody's gonna be watching these remakes. They're gonna remake the damn show regardless. So I'm gonna watch the remakes and the live action.
All right, so I'll wait for the Castlevania remake.
That show literally came out within the
I'm doing what you're doing.
What do you mean?
I'm crying.
That remake on the
Just
way?
because your show started in the 90s and is not done yet does not mean like you can't just watch the stuff that's coming out nowadays. So you're just not gonna watch one of the new. We shouldn't watch Windbreaker, I guess. We shouldn't watch Your Forma. We shouldn't watch Boruto when that comes out. We shouldn't watch any of these new. We shouldn't watch Solo Leveling. We shouldn't watch My Hero. We shouldn't watch any of that just because that's what you're saying.
No, I that's not what I'm saying at all. All I'm saying is the distance you travel, which is relative to Castlevania, is a distance I'm going to travel.
That's wild.
It's
Not
it's
mad.
what it is. If I watch half of Castlevania, you watch half of One Piece.
But you could just finish Castlevania in 2 days. I don't
That's
understand.
tough. You had 6 months.
What's good, Miles?
He's shaming me for the journey I'm going on. That's crazy.
Like,
I don't
what are we
understand.
really doing?
It's not my fault that my show is done.
Yeah. What are we really doing?
My first season
Feel me?
and the first series and the spinoff series.
Man. Well, let's circle back. Sorry, Joe. Sorry, guys.
I am crying.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I think that's probably enough content that we have for now. Just playing. Nah, you know what?
Gotcha,
I
bitch.
I think at this point, because the chat's going crazy too, I didn't know we were going to fall into a whole One Piece versus Castlevania conversation, and I'm here for all of it. But you know what? At this point, let's go ahead and jump off of One Piece versus Castlevania, because Kumar, I need you on the record officially to stand on business on our ongoing Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network debate.
Yes, that's what we stopped last time. I recall.
Yeah. So
It was Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon essentially.
Okay.
And
yes.
me, growing up, I've always been more of a Cartoon Network guy than a Nickelodeon guy.
Okay.
I just felt like the shows were more creatively like stimulating, you know.
Okay.
Like I don't know what it was about a lot of the shows on Cartoon Network, but they just scratched that itch. Like whether it was they were weird, but they were funny, or like they just told like deeper. Like there was like for example, Courage the Cowardly Dog is one of my favorite shows on Cartoon Network, and even though it was super weird and creepy, there was something about it that just always wanted me to see more or watch more of it. So, you know, the fact that this scared ass dog was persevering through all the bullshit he had to was like it just stuck to me. I was like, damn, this dog is getting beat to hell and just laughing through it. You know when he laughs that crazy laugh when he just sometimes that's just life. You just gotta laugh through the bullshit. I thought that was good. I thought it spoke to me as a child. Essentially. Okay.
The things that I do for love.
Exactly.
And Rob, technically you've answered this question already, but you did it in chat, not on screen. So I want you to go ahead and let the audience know so I can officially add you to the tally. I know your answer, but I want you to go ahead and let the people know.
It's Cartoon Network. At the end of the day, I mean, we had Toonami, but even if you want to take off Toonami, I think my favorite show growing up was Ed and Eddie. So I love the SpongeBob's. I love Fairy Odd Parents. I love Danny Phantom. I'm not gonna say or act like Nickelodeon didn't have heat, but like I feel like Nickelodeon had had a lot of like maybe A, B tier shows where Cartoon Network like maybe there's a couple C's in there, but then when the S's showed out, there was S's. You know what I'm saying? Like I put Code's Name Kids Next Door. I put Teen Titans. I put Courage the Cowardly Dog, like he said. Ed and Eddie, like all those shows are like S tier to me. You know what I'm saying? So Nickelodeon does have fire shows. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I didn't even mention Avatar. Avatar's an S tier show. Facts. But Toonami plus the stuff that's going on, yeah, it's Cartoon Network for me. 100%.
Yes. So that is a clean sweep again, guys, for Cartoon Network in this chat. See, I think the thing that a lot of people tend to not realize when we have these conversations is me saying Cartoon Network is not me saying I hate Nickelodeon. Like that's the part that people don't get in their minds. Like they think, you can like both people. That might be something that might be a little crazy to you guys, but guess what? You can like both, but we like one more than the other, and that will be Cartoon Network.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Cartoon Network got it.
Absolutely. So I want to see if this will line up with your guys' questions. So we know that you guys like Cartoon Network, but I want to know what your favorite cartoon of all time is, Kumar.
Favorite cartoon of all time?
Yes.
Tough. I feel like see now when it comes to just cartoons, like we got to think of even just the other channels, right? Like WB, all that. Shonen Showdown, will you dye your hair blonde if Sabo does nothing this year?
Marco, don't pay attention to Marco, yo. Marco, I can't. Sabo Dragon will make a move this year, all right? That's what Otis said.
I got to think on this because cartoon. What was I really locking into as a kid? And you know what? I feel like when it comes to cartoons, and one that I have like really, really fond memories of with me and my sister, every time we would like stay up to like just to like physically go out of our way to sit down together as siblings and watch, it was Samurai Jack. I feel like me and her were huge Samurai Jack fan. And maybe it's because being from the Bronx, like the hip hop element of like how that show kind of like threw it in for the intro, like the intro song. But there was something about just Jack and just that story that I loved. And I was like, man, how is he gonna get back to his time and undo the wrongs that Aku, did? So me and my sister were always locked in. Like we knew when that show would come on. We were in the living room, sat ready to watch. So Samurai Jack definitely for me up there. And unfortunately, as kids, like it just never finished until we were way older. Like they brought it back to finish it out, but that's one that like is very like nostalgia, like for sure, and just a good story. I feel like. But that's a tough question, Dro. Like that's like I say Samurai Jack today, but I could say like I don't know Avatar tomorrow. You know, like that's a tough question.
That's okay. We're only live and we have you on the record, so that works for me.
Mhm.
Rob, what would you say is your favorite cartoon?
Ed and Eddie. Ed
So
and
it's
Eddie,
I know
hands
you say you
down.
liked it growing up, so it is your favorite.
Yeah. Ed and Eddie is one of those shows that I could watch right now and I'll still die laughing. I just think it just fits my type of humor. It's just like it's very very goofy, but it's I don't know. It's like one of those feel good shows. I'm very familiar with every character in there, you know, because there's not like there's not like 100 million characters that takes forever to flesh out or anything like that. It's very just quick pick up. But yeah, I love Ed and Eddie, man. I can't, you know, I can even remember they had like a competition. This is one of my favorite episodes when they all made a bet and they were like all the stuff that every character loves to do. They're like, all right, I bet you can't go a day. Like they're like, Eddie, I bet you can't go a day without yelling. Like Ed, you know, like Ed, I bet you can't go a full day without, you know, eating gravy. Like Double D, you can't use big words. Kevin, you
Mhm.
can't call us dorks. Like, yo, that episode is
Mhm.
hilarious. Yo, like listen, like Ed and Eddie's just it's so goofy, but it's so funny at the same time, man. So I think that's just my favorite cartoon. Like, but I separate it from like anime, obviously, which is like in a class of his own. And obviously, you know, shows like Teen Titan, Avatar, you know, SpongeBob and all that stuff. Like I know how well impactful they are in the communities and they're massive shows. And they're great in their own right. I think they're all S tier shows, but it's like Ed and Eddie is just
Ed and Eddie.
my goat, you know.
Joel says, I'm too young for these shows. I will leave it to you unks.
Damn, that's crazy.
Wow. What for Ed and Eddie?
Just in
Damn.
general.
What's a
Ed
and Eddie? That's crazy.
You heard, you know,
Joe was
what
born
was
in
it? Your Harry Potter elimination board video. You said we done with the 90s because that.
Oh yeah.
We done with the 90s, man. These kids don't care about the 90s no more.
Man,
I think my favorite Ed and Eddie episode was when they paid homage to Alien when Ed was dressing up as that alien monster, like kidnapping and like putting them in like he was chewing up cereal and like encasing them in like chewed up dried cereal.
Yeah, and they had so many good specials, and even the last movie, the Big Picture Show movie, was so good where they finally meet Eddie's brother and like that whole, and they all come together. Like I'm telling you, Ed and Eddie is just like I'm telling you, oh man, I love Ed and Eddie.
It's a great way to end a series, definitely.
Yeah, I love Ed and Eddie.
Jasirii, what's your favorite?
Yeah,
he was a straight up asshole.
Yeah, he was.
Sorry, am I allowed to curse? By the way, I have a really bad like cursing.
Oh no! Look, we are late night. It is okay.
Okay, cool. My bad.
But now, Jasirii, what you got?
Let's see. Going back, it was always a tie waking up on Saturday mornings. You feel me? Like it. It is hard to choose between like TMNT, that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like that was my shit. But Static Shock,
superhero Static Shock.
I gotta go with Static because it was like I'm more of a historian, and the way that they implemented history and real life facts and real life situations inside the show, just let alone for a young kid, a young colored kid in general. Yeah, I'm going Static.
Yeah, Static Shock is another great show. They
S-tier.
tackled a lot of important themes too.
Yes,
a lot.
It was like we knew they were gonna have a countdown to the racist episode because you knew it was coming. We have a black superhero. Somebody's gonna be hating eventually.
Word. They were in there like, oh, they did it. They did it. Pull the plug. Yo.
Sir, what you got?
I would say childhood, I would go Dragon Tales. PBS Kids styles.
Hey,
Stop playing with me.
Dragon
Mm-hmm.
Dragon
Tail.
Come
Come
along,
on,
take
take
my
my
hand.
okay.
Let's all go to Dragon Come on,
Then after that, hey, and look, if you're a real PBS Kid fans, the next episode comes right after Dragon Tales. It's a boomerfoo. Quit playing with me.
Those brothers, oh my god.
And guess what? And guess what? And you know what happens in the ending when you know the show is over? It used to be Zoom. After Zoom was over, Clifford the Big Red Dog. Quit playing with me.
Yo, he's
I wanted to be in Zoom
Quit
so
playing
bad.
with
As
me.
a kid, I was like, yo, how do you get on that show? I'm trying to
Exactly.
be on Zoom.
If we talking about as like a child level of all time, it was definitely Dragon Tales for sure. I was like my love for that show was just another level and stuff. Of course, the Between the Lions and stuff because obviously I love my Between the Lions and Sesame Street. I love those, but if I say the child, I would definitely put that. But all times, currently, I will. Rob made a great mention with Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I'm gonna have to go a little bit current time right now. I'm gonna go with the Amazing World of Gumball. I love that show because the Amazing World of Gumball is the definition of memes and trends, and they are sticking with it to the end. They do anime reference, movie reference, show reference, you name it. They do all types of reference. They actually dedicated an episode in an anime format. So it's like they are like the definition of look, if you just want a random, there's a story there, but if you just want like a goofy random theme, absolutely amazing World of Gumball for sure.
Yeah, but with that show too, like, not that I've been super up on it, but like from the episodes I've seen, like the writing is super smart. Like they're like
Mhm.
so like tapped into like like you were saying, they'll tap into like political like drama, but make it funny, or they'll tap into like real
Mhm.
world like conflicts and stuff, but like spin it to where it's funny, but you're still like, wait, like, do you get what do you see what we're putting out there? Like we're
Mhm.
making where we're making we're writing about a certain situation which could be touchy, but we're making it funny and in our own way, which can still like if you know, you know, like if you get it, you get it. So yeah, that show's pretty up there in terms of that kind of you know what have you in terms of current trends or news, with the whatever
Mhm.
trending nowadays.
I love it. I love it. I'll never let go of it. I say the favorite episode, I would probably say in Amazing World Gumball is when it's it's when Richard was going on strike and he was not like watching the kids anymore. And then the kids turned into like monsters from Jurassic Park. And the man was just like, everybody stand down. Where's Pink? Oh, clever. Like he was in it. He was definitely in it. And especially when they made the game episode and they was all doing the do, do, do. And Gumball said the realest things to all the gamers at the end. And he he was like, everybody was just happy. I was like, yay, we completed the game. And the gumball looked at it. He said, 90, 98. Oh, no. I'm going to this 100. We're going to do this again. Everybody know. I was like, bro, that is the realest thing ever. Because if you're a true gamer, you don't stop to 98. You go 100% to clear the game. So it's Gumball's just so peak when it comes to that.
Right. Like you said, Dragon Tales when he was younger, but he's definitely going with Amazing World of Gumball. Like you said, we got Gumball over here, we got Samurai Jack up there, we got Ed and Eddie over here, we got Static Shock over here. I want to remind everybody that these are all things from Warner Brothers Studios. So, yeah, that I just want to point out that.
You saw what happened with that game.
I also want to point out that nobody up here said SpongeBob. Sorry, Summer.
I will say though, I feel like
Ghost.
SpongeBob is probably arguably the most quoted cartoon show.
I say that on here at least once a week.
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Somebody else, Ghost, definitely shot a summer quote up in here about SpongeBob when they was talking about the cartoon in Nickelodeon. I was like, oh, he's throwing summer shots, but Nah, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's okay because we love Summer over here. At the end of the day, that's our little sis. We'll protect her at all costs, even if she will die on that whole SpongeBob clears Cartoon Network by itself hill that she wants to die on.
Ain't no way.
Even with at Toonami?
Nah.
She said clears. She said she would have picked Cartoon Network if it wasn't for SpongeBob, but SpongeBob could beat all of Cartoon Network by itself.
I ain't gonna lie, she was
You
not
wanna
Like
she-
basically, Cartoon Network is all the people and SpongeBob's the freaking gorilla. Like that's basically what she was saying.
I ain't gonna lie though, she was throwing points here and there, and I was listening. I was like, I hear you, I hear you. I was like, you gravitating towards me a little bit. Then I heard that one thing, and I'm just like, that's where you lost me.
Yeah, but then there comes a point in SpongeBob where the episode, the animation changes and the writing changes, and then just like this is not my SpongeBob.
It was good right up till it wasn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Season 3. I say it all the time. Season 1 through 3. That's all you're gonna get.
But nah, for myself, as far as like favorite cartoon of all time, my nephews know me his whole life. Jasiri's known me a long time now. I mean, the easy answer for me would probably be Darkwing Duck because that was
Darkwing Duck.
that was literally my childhood, and meeting Jim Cummings in real life and interviewing him while he was doing his Darkwing Duck voice is a highlight of my entire life that I will always remember.
What's the tagline? Let's get. Was he say serious or
Dangerous.
dangerous? Yeah, let's get dangerous. Yeah.
Did he just say serious?
Yes, he
I
did.
forgot. I had to make sure. That's why I had to throw it up to y'all for the lob.
Oh God, he said serious.
However, as much as I love Darkwing Duck and Disney as a whole, because I'm a Disney kid at the end of the day, I know we run a podcast that seems to lean towards anime a lot, even though we do all nerdy things on here. I am a Disney kid at the end of the day, which is why Darkwing Duck is always my thing. You know, honorable mention to Rescue Rangers and the other stuff the Disney Afternoon had. But when it comes to my favorite, I'm sorry, I have to stay in the Warner Brothers trend just like everybody else. I was just watching old episodes of Looney Tunes just last night.
Absolutely.
And
Timeless.
Yo.
100 years from now, they will still be airing episodes of Bugs Bunny destroying every single character like Elmer Fudd or Yosemite Sam or Daffy Duck get into whatever bullshit he gets into.
and I always call it a generational thing because I would say anyone that's probably like 35 and up will make the argument that Looney Tunes is very quotable. I can recite so many Looney Tune cartoons, Bugs Bunny cartoons from beginning to end, word for word.
Wow.
What up, Doc? Most famous line.
Be careful, because then they're gonna say you're old.
I mean, I'm the oldest person here. Like, I don't care. My 30s will be over soon. I don't, whatever. You know, it isn't how old you are, it's how you feel. And I feel amazing these days.
There you go,
As
Drell.
we
Talk to him, Drell.
So no, I'm definitely going to keep that on the trend. But moving on, we're going to stay on cartoons for a second. I kind of brought this up spontaneously a few weeks back on the podcast, but now I'm going to bring it in proper. And I want to go straight to Rob and Kumar first because they are the guests. Y'all will remember this when we bring this up, co-host here. But let's go a little Disney and Nickelodeon. And we had a little thing between Recess and Hey Arnold, and we said Ashley Spinelli versus Helga Pataki. Who wins that fight?
Y'all are from New York. Answer right.
Well, I was never. I've only ever seen way more Hey Arnold than Recess. Excuse me. So
I feel like Helga's not really. I'll let you see your face.
Hey, that's crazy.
Yo,
Jasirii, you also have to put into perspective the melanin factor, and I know for sure.
Remember where they from.
The
Remember where they from. Helga from Brooklyn.
Helga's not from Brooklyn.
Helga's from Brooklyn. Look where Arnold lives at. He lives in a brownstone.
Yeah, but she could be a plant.
I feel like
she could be a transplant.
Well, her parents are, but she raised in Brooklyn. You ain't seen how many times that she got it rocking?
By the way, Life with Anime says, I made it. Hope all is well with you fellas. All these goats on one live.
Yo, what up?
Yo,
What up,
what's
Joe
good?
and or Preston?
We got ESPN Sports Center just dropped.
And Z looks like he's going with Ashley Spinelli. So we got
Yeah.
Do you
That's
know
what-
what
Cyborg says
We
Helga's
have
night.
votes on.
I don't think Helga. Who did Helga beat up? Was it
She only ever would beat up the dude with the congested motherfucker.
She also
Like-
beat up the other
like-
bully too.
And that's only because he secretly has a crush on her. Why else is he following her everywhere?
And it was always the same back fist.
Yeah, Helga wasn't really.
If Jasirii, if you're looking at these two character, the detailing, who you think looks like a fighter off rip?
Like,
Looks don't let. First of
Oh,
all,
she said
first of all,
looks. They going by
ain't you fucking
looks.
look? You know, looks ain't everything.
Y'all
Looks are
look
not
scaly?
See,
everything.
I'm only saying that
What are
because
we talking
again, I've
about?
only ever seen more Hey Arnold than I've probably only seen like maybe 5 episodes of Recess, like total.
dang.
And you forgot about the episode where Spinelli got punked how many times?
Yeah,
Dang, not y'all forgetting.
The girl from Recess throwing hands. Like I don't know. Like I've
at
never
the
seen
end
it.
of the day, they both mostly act tough than actually.
That's what I'm
you know.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's exactly what you're saying, Joe. Like, they just act tough, but they're not really. Like, if you said Sarah from Edda and Eddie, now we're talking
I'm
about.
giving that to Sarah.
Well, I
but
mean,
now
no,
we're
I'm not
talking
gonna.
about-
I'm not gonna have this argument have an actual fighter. Like that's not fair. We want to go with the fake tough girls.
You know what I'm saying?
All right,
Like,
let me ask you guys this then. Does the girl from Recess does she have like a secret crush or someone she likes
Mm-hmm.
in the show?
I mean, she
Because
did turn girly for a boy in one
let's
episode.
say if it's Helga versus this girl and it's for I don't know who gets to sit with Arnold or their interest. I feel like Helga will gouge eyes out for Arnold.
matter of fact, bring in because that's more like Cindy from Jimmy Neutron.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
you see what they
Cindy.
said? Cindy, you brought Cindy into
Nah,
these
Cindy-
two
but Cindy's
girls.
not- like Helga will throw a punch. I can't. Cindy.
Cindy
Like, she
is
would get bodied
no,
for sure.
She's Romanian from Brooklyn.
wait, hold on. Did you say-
The series not letting that go. He's
Hold on.
like, how can you not go with the Brooklyn girl?
Did you
I'm
say
going for Helga on this. That's what I'm saying. But there's so many factors.
You didn't pick Helga. Pick Ashley. You were look scaling.
No,
It's
but
all
it's-
right. Just stand on business. That's all.
But I'm saying, that's why I asked. Does the girl in Recess have someone she like? Is she gonna really fight like for like? Because again,
No,
like if
Hel-
Arnold's in the crowd watching, I feel like Helga's definitely gonna have to really show out.
She didn't really have anybody she's crushes on. Her whole really thing that kind of, came to light was that she was hiding from everybody that her first name was Ashley until that actually came out. Because on Recess, the Ashleys were a clique that were at the school that were like these preppy, prissy, girly girls that are all about dolls and princess and annoying as hell and all of that. And of course, she's this tough girl that will threaten to beat people up for her friends and stuff. So when they found out her name was Ashley too, it was like, oh no, you're one of them.
Yo, Cyborg Frankie says, "You see the unibrow? You think you can rock that and not have hands?" That's hilarious.
See, but they saying Cindy is tough though.
that's
Now
what I was
that
about
you
to
said
say?
that-
Hold on.
in the
hold on,
chat,
hold on.
now that you said that, I do remember Cindy doing martial arts.
Wait,
now that I
hold
remember.
on. Let me talk. Hold on, because
No,
the fact.
go ahead.
Hold on, because the fact that he said Cindy in the beginning, because I don't know if y'all saw my face when he said that, when he was like Cindy was weak or something, and I was like, Cindy knows karate. She has martial arts skills. Her
Right.
brain
I
is
was-
her
yeah,
brain is highly intelligent and traditional wise, damn near equal to Jimmy Neutron's when it comes to battle tactics and all, and knowing about smarts and everything. If you put her between these two, it's not even fair.
Okay. No, I was picking like Cindy would win of the three, but I was trying to find somebody that's because Drell said Sarah was too OP, so I said, all right, let me.
Yeah,
bring it
I
back.
was. My whole point with these
And
two
let
is
me-
that they're iconic characters. They
I know.
act tough, but
No.
I'm sure if push comes to shove, like I'm personally going with Helga because I mean
been gonna say Helga.
she came from a broken household, and look, there's probably been plenty of times that she wanted to jump on her sister.
Look, I
And-
play
I
I can
Nickelodeon
see
All
how-
Stars with her. I play Nickelodeon All Star with Helga, She- and she bodies everybody. So counters.
It's a fighting game to be
Yeah.
fair.
So she got hands to me. There we go.
And the only person that literally like put her in a place was somebody named Big Patty. Big Patty was from the Bronx. I don't care what nobody say. Ain't no way you just walk over here like douche, douche, douche. Get me a goddamn sandwich.
Big Patty.
So clearly, Helga's been in more physical encounters than this other girl from Recess. I
Yeah.
was trying to give her
From
the
my
benefit of the
knowledge, yeah.
doubt.
By the way, I can't believe you haven't really watched Recess like that. Like,
Nah,
where were you in the 2000s?
What about Icky Vicky? You watch it?
Yeah, what you mean? That's Fairly Odd Parents. Of course, I watched that.
Oh,
No, man, I was about to say, yeah, if he didn't say he watched Fairly Odd Parents, that was going to be crazy. But
I'm a
Cindy's
92
primary
baby.
method of
I-
bullying
I-
wasn't
I-
brute force.
I was sticking with Nickelodeon Cartoon Network, and Warner Brothers, and maybe some stuff on CW. If it even was that back in the day, I don't remember.
There was no CW. It wasn't no CW. It was Kids WWB.
Ah, there you go.
Yes,
There you
I'm
go.
old, guys. It's okay. But you know what? I will say this then, because let's go ahead and transition into some anime. I want to get into what Rob always likes to call goat piece.
all right,
Yeah,
so
he's like, yeah.
You watch
yeah.
out for a second.
But what's this called? What's this segment called?
I'm saying he calls it goat piece, but it's one piece.
Oh, yeah. This is all Rob. Yeah, this is all Rob.
Yeah. Watch out.
Yeah.
Watch
This
out.
is this is the lead. This is the lead. You know, aficionado.
Yeah, let me get the ball. Man.
He
Watch
knocking
out.
on doors, being like, "Have you do you know my Lord and Savior Sabo?"
Let me get the ball. I'm Jalen Brunson. What's going on?
They're up 2-0 right now, so you know.
Come on.
Yeah, in spectacular fashion.
Yes. Trust
Shout
me.
out
We
to
could
New
definitely talk some basketball, but this isn't that type of podcast. So, Rob, I want you to look into the future a little bit when it comes to One Piece because you're the biggest One Piece expert, according to you. So, how do you think One Piece should end? Looking into your crystal ball.
The friends we made along at Lovey Stop. All right. In all
Boy.
seriousness, look at you. No. But for real, what I would love to see is I would love to see definitely a final battle, a final war of some sort. Because of all the characters that are getting introduced, not even just in anime and the manga right now, it's going ridiculous. I would love to see a lot of loose ends be tied up in terms of the lore, because there could be light novels, there could be movies talking about the backstories on what happened in God Valley. The Rocky Port incident was put in the SBS, which is like crazy. I would love to see all that stuff fully fleshed out, getting at least an OVA or something. Or give us something. Or if he doesn't do it with this current Toei adaptation, hopefully Wit Studios will pick up the slack. I would love to see it there too. I know they're trying to throw a couple of Easter eggs here or there in the live action, but again, I don't know if we're gonna get more this season 2 or what's going on, but I would just love to see a final war. I think there's gonna be another crew battle between Luffy and Blackbeard. I do want to see what happens with Dragon and him meeting Luffy for the first time. Luffy obviously meeting up with Shanks for the first time after a long time, I should say. Yeah, there's a lot that has to happen. I'm not gonna say here and put my theories out on like how I think it's gonna happen, because knowing Oda, like no matter what, I've seen some of the greatest theories of all time, and like most of them get proven wrong.
But that's what we're here for, though. You know, we're here to have fun.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know exactly how it's going to happen. Right now I could say is we have the final villain. Emu's outside now. The God's Knights, like everybody's outside. So I feel like we've seen everybody that we really needed to see. It's just figuring out how we're going to get things to these points to converge and come together or something, right? And I don't know exactly how Oda's going to do that, because it just looks like it's all like right now. It just looks like I've been waiting for Dragon to pull up for the longest time. This is just an example, right? And I'm like, I know Dragon's going to pull up because now the people that he said he was waiting for are now starting to make their move. But it's like, when is like, how is he going? Is he going to teleport or like what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, is his radar just going to go off and be like, all right, they're going now. Like, there has to be obviously something that makes him figure out, okay, now it's time for us to make our move. And I don't know how Oda's going to do it. So it's just like, there's constantly every chapter I read, every anime episode I watch, it's a surprise, you know? And that's kind of where I kind of like stop theory crafting as much, because it's just like, I'm just here for the ride. Because once Emu was confirmed to be a character in the story, I moved through thinking it was the Gorosei, like 99.9% of the One Piece fandom. And then you find out, oh, there's somebody even above them. And it's like, well, damn. Anything can happen, you know?
Okay.
From that day when Emu was revealed as a character, I said, yeah, anything can happen. Anyway.
Okay, and I understand your need to not really want to theorize too much, but you're on the hot seat today on the podcast is real. So I'm going to need you to theorize a little bit. So I'm going to ask you this, Rob.
Thank you. Put pressure on his neck.
We're talking about the ending. So let me get more deeper into this.
Right.
Are we going to lose a Straw Hat?
Right. Just because my voice is going don't mean he ain't gonna put his foot on your neck. Don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. Thank you, Drell. I appreciate it.
Are we going to lose a Straw Hat? Me knowing Oda, he does not like killing characters. So I don't think a Straw Hat is actually going to pass. But if there is one that will pass, it's either going to be Jinbei or Usopp. I think
gonna be Jinbei.
Huh? What? What did you say? Run that back. What happened?
It's gonna be Jinbei for sure.
Stop.
They gonna pull the pull.
I'm a huge Jinbei fan.
Respectfully, I wanted to be Usopp because that seemed like a more theoretically title to be, but it's like the Boruto Naruto thing. You know, I feel like the plug won't be pulled too much. Because some plug will be pulled, but I don't think it's gonna be that type of pull.
But Usopp dying as a brave warrior at the sea just seems like a fitting end.
Kiss,
right?
Going out kiss. Finally doing like this super huge, heroic.
His girl finally gets to hear the actual story, but she
somebody goes back and tells her an actual true story of how he went out.
Come on.
I mean, technically, he hasn't really lied, has he?
The door now.
Now think about it. The army came true. You feel me?
That man said he took down
him fighting one of the biggest pirates was true. It just happened later along the line. Rob, am I wrong? Am I wrong, Rob?
Don't get me started on Usopp, man.
There we go.
I feel about
exactly.
Usopp,
I love Usopp, but no, we ain't even do that.
Nah. Start that.
I mean,
Usopp.
Look. Look, now go for it, bro. I'll let you go. Talk. You on a hot seat? Cook. Burn for a second. Go for it.
You good?
Kumar disappeared.
He said he doesn't want to talk One Piece. So
don't forget. He ain't nowhere near where we at. He ain't where we at right now. So
he's in Romance Dawn.
He's gonna cloak and dagger disappear. It's all good.
But nah, man. I think it's gonna be either Jinbei or Usopp, and obviously, you know, the theories have been out that people think that Usopp's gonna die as a brave warrior, which I could see happening. Jinbei also being that character that pretty much just throws himself in the line of fire like all the time to protect the crew. I could see it happening, but for real this time. You know, he's like, you guys go on ahead. I'll hold off Big Mom. Jinbei's giving Luffy his blood. Like, he's constantly seemed like that's the character he will be the fall guy. You know, he'll take the damage to help them keep going. And I think those two are being. I see the chat saying Brook. I don't really think it's going to be Brook though. Because Brook still has more to the story. I think Usopp, him dying as a brave warrior would be his story. You know what I'm saying? But either way, I don't think Oda's really going to kill off a Straw Hat. I think there's going to be people that maybe they'll die like close to the Straw Hats. Like I could see maybe a Straw Hat affiliate. Not saying it's going to be Law, but it maybe could be Law or, you know, somebody like that. Like maybe Luffy loses another brother, maybe he does lose Sabo or something like it could be something like that. I don't see Oda killing off a Straw Hat for real. Maybe a Straw Hat loses an arm like Shanks or something, like maybe that happens, but like actually dying and being out of the story.
Oh,
don't see that
I
happening.
so got Zoro losing an arm before it's all said and done.
Yeah,
He already lost an eye. I think an arm's coming.
Yeah,
He's just
it
gonna be
could.
blind.
So that they can
Could,
try,
man.
they're gonna try to nerf his 3-sword style, and he's gonna show that he's still that dude, even with one arm. And
Nah, this man getting all type of conqueror hockey. He's just gonna be blind.
Yeah.
you think he's gonna be blind?
He's just gonna be blind, bro.
But again, I don't think anybody's dying though. Oda does not like killing characters, so because he's the king of bringing characters back at wild times. So like, if he actually kills a character, it's like, dang, like I can't bring them back. So until then, everybody's still alive. People still
Okay.
think Kaido and Big Mom are alive, right? So
They might be.
Hell, ain't
Like,
no fucking
it-
way.
they might be right. So
See,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
see,
I'll just say this: we haven't seen
Mm-mm.
anybody, so we can say they're gone, but
right.
we won't know for sure until the
We can
story's
say that
over and
about
they never come
Jiraiya.
back.
we could say it about Jiraiya though.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Anyway, Rob, does Luffy find the One Piece?
Yes. Why wouldn't he?
It's gonna be buggy.
I mean, I think the story is already like we're seeing Luffy's story of him becoming the Pirate King. Like I think when Luffy says he's gonna be king of the pirates, he's gonna make it happen. We're just watching how it happens and what it means to be the Pirate King, and we're figuring out all these other things, right? Vegapunk's message, all these other things. So I think he's absolutely going to find the One Piece. Now, there may be some mix up on whether he's the Pirate King immediately, because obviously when you're competing against Shanks, the trolling king himself, Buggy, and then you have Blackbeard, who's super finesse, right? He's King Finesse. You're going up with people that are really tough. It's really tough to predict how Buggy and Blackbeard will move going forward. You don't know how they're gonna move because Blackbeard is completely unpredictable, and Buggy is like falling upwards. It's weird how they're both moving. So, and you know Shanks is a dog. It's just a matter of what Shanks' mission is and how Buggy is going to compete, because he said he wants to find the One Piece, but Mihawk and Crocodile are kind of still on the fence because they don't want to fight, Luffy, Blackbeard, and Shanks. So, all these things are happening and coming together. Like, I still think Luffy's gonna find the One Piece, but like he may not be the Pirate King right away. Like there may be like a, hold on, you found it, but Blackbeard's popped up too, or it's gonna be something like that.
Fair enough. I've always said Buggy's gonna find it in the most bullshit way that they're ever gonna come up with. Like he's just gonna be out. He's gonna stumble. He's gonna trip. He's gonna swing off of something, catapult, and crash land right in front of it some kind of way.
Yeah, but Luffy's still gonna get there. The thing is, Luffy's still gonna get there. Like maybe somebody gets there before him, but like news is gonna come out when Luffy gets it. I feel like when if somebody else finds it and Luffy finds out.
Don't get me wrong. I do think Luffy is going to end the series as the Pirate King. I just don't know if things will be shifted where he necessarily has to have the One Piece in order to achieve that.
You're gonna have to ask Zoro where the One Piece is.
It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. I think I think the Pirate King Sea is reserved for, because you got to look at the Devil Fruit Luffy has, right? It's like it's destiny at this point. And I think Shanks knows that. Blackbeard and Buggy don't know it yet, but I think it's already written. Like Luffy's like he's this era's Joy Boy, right? So now it's a matter of everybody else trying to figure out, okay, what role do I play in this? Because now Luffy's outside, right?
As he should. He's the star of the show. So
right.
That's just how that works. Marco asked, does he marry Boa?
Nah. I don't think Luffy Luffy doesn't really show like any type of He's just focused on his mission, King of the Pirates. That's it.
I still have a Mary and Nami when it's all said and done. But Jasirii, how do you feel like One Piece should end, or how do you feel it should end?
Not gonna hold you. Luffy got to spin for his brother. Luffy definitely got to spin for his brother. That has to be the most epic climax battle, all out brawl. Make it out to an island somewhere, and Gear 5 versus Lava.
Hold on. Because I'm Team Sabo over Akainu. I think Sabo should get that role. Now, I understand people saying they want Luffy to do it.
So explain why Sabo, because he didn't get his memory back until
right. And I think that's the reason why. The fact that Sabo wasn't there, the amount of guilt that he feels from not being there, makes him want to even be like, Luffy, you've done enough. I'm sorry I wasn't there to help you. Let me handle this. You have bigger fish to fry, right? You're dealing with finding the One Piece and blah, blah, blah. I'm in the Revolutionary Army, which is our mission to stop the Marines and the world government. Let me deal with this. You feel me? That's where I think it really is going to come down to. I think Sabo is going to be the one to fight Akainu. It could be Luffy, and I'm not saying I would be mad if it were Luffy, but I think Luffy has to worry about Blackbeard. Luffy has to worry about God's Knights, Gorosei, Emu. Like, there's so much more going on that he has to deal with. I think it's like, yo, let Sabo handle Akainu, you know? Let Sabo handle Akainu.
Yeah, but Luffy, the dumbass that dropped that piece of paper that put that hole in his chest. So I could see a team up maybe, but other than that, I need him to spin back.
So you don't want Sabo to get the get back?
Sabo could be there, but he got, again, like you said, he has the Revolutionary Army. He got bigger fish to fry than just the Marines, because Marines are puppets, and he knows that now.
But Akainu is still the fleet admiral. Like, he still
By the way,
wants to get
Mr.
back.
Music Major is in the chat, guys.
Yo, that's good.
I see Spencer in here too. What's good, y'all?
Spencer,
His YouTube profile picture is the most modeling face. He looks so young, bro. What's that, college you, brother? Yo, you have a beard now, brother. What year was this? Were you at TSU?
For real though.
Listen, let my guy rock. He been doing that. He been doing it.
Hey,
Yeah.
So you said Luffy definitely got to spin the block, if nothing else, before it's all over.
Yup, I stand on that.
Man, I hear you. I want it to be Sabo though. I'm not gonna lie, but I hear you.
I want Sabo to be in it. Yeah, actually a brother team up for that climax, for that arc, then everything else. Cause that's gonna be a crazy ass arc.
So that must mean Akainu is strong as hell then. That's what I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
that was just
SHYT.
see. Hold on. But I was even gonna say it, Vocals. You said
Now
it.
thinking about it, I'm like, but that means this man is that strong for Sabo and Luffy to team up against him?
Where it would need both of them?
Against him?
You already see what he's doing with what Laserface. He's even struggling with Light.
Oh no!
Hey, P says that is 2015.
Oh no! Because I read the manga and saw the episode. Now it's 2. Oh no, he ain't really told me like that to be like, okay. Now don't get me wrong. Sorry, y'all. My voice is so I'm not throwing a lot of information like I was. So I'm just make it nice and short.
Yeah.
I know he has impeccable power by fighting on the island for a week straight and made it literally redecorated the island. Cool.
And it stayed that way.
I get that. But these power gaps now are not the same as others. And when it comes with Akainu, we haven't seen him ever really just showed him to be the most craziest person, just to have 2 of the top people in the game. Like that's kind of overkill. Like if you would be like Kaido, I mean that's different because we know how insane it took for him to took that particular person down. And you know me, I'm a Marine person, and I love the Marines. I understand, but for him specifically, how crazy powerful has he been since we seen everything else? Garp looked more crazy, and we saw what happened to that guy.
But that's the thing. His mantle would he can't just get that mantle. He got that mantle for a reason, and it's not like he wasn't gonna get taught before Son Goku left. And we didn't see nothing Goku did up until Ace.
Goku
But
retired,
what's the
said I'm
setup?
done.
Jasirii, what's the setup though, right? The setup is that not only did Akainu kill Ace,
Mm-hmm.
but when Akainu killed Ace, they were trying to make the whole thing of like lava is better than even fire, right? It's hotter, it's better. They try to push it to make it seem like Akainu had the advantage, and that's why Ace was out of there. So now we're seeing Sabo have Ace's devil fruit, and now he's taking it to new heights. So it would be so great to be like, yo, the brother that wasn't there now taking his devil fruit, using it to an even greater level. They're calling him the Flame Emperor now, by the way. This is what they're calling Sabo, Flame Emperor, and saying, okay, I see somebody in the chat said it too, Survivor's Guilt. He has that to the max. So I feel like he above, and he's in the Revolutionary Army. So there's all of those things working for him. I feel like he's like the direct counter. You know, I think he's a direct counter.
Counter.
Yeah, yeah.
I ain't gonna
Like
lie.
it's one of those, like
I ain't
you
gonna
know,
lie.
and
I ain't gonna lie. He cooking right now. What a season that. What is? Hey, what you put on this chicken, brother? It's hot as hell. It's spicy as fuck.
And look, Spencer, one of the biggest cop outs in every form of entertainment is the old "it was a dream all along" thing.
Also, like Super Mario too.
Like, look, if I don't care what it is, if anybody was to just get to the end of anything and then they just wake up and the whole thing is a dream, I can't rock with it. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Like Ash Ketchup.
He still think that's what happened with Ash. The whole thing's a dream. That's why he's 10 years old for 25 years.
word.
Yeah. I
Nah,
do.
I think
I agree with the spin the block though. With the Sabo and Akanu, I definitely. That would be. I ain't gonna lie. That do sound pretty nice though. But give Luffy to throw some hands a little bit though. You feel me? CC, because just to make the Jasirii feel better, right? Get Luffy to show up. You feel me? They have a Conqueror Haki penis swinging contest going on. You know that's how One Piece love to do with it. Or that. Am I lying? They do that every time. When I can name so many scenes when they do that. Like Doflamingo, Luffy, the biggest one ever. The freaking not Alabasta, the Doflamingo arc when they was the top prisoner. I forgot his name, but it's always a hockey operation swinging contest going on. So give Luffy a couple of hits first, and then Sabo show up and be like, "Look here, bro. I see what you're going like Luffy. You know what? Let's say this. Luffy mind almost went back to the same position, and Sabo comes in and be like, "Hey, bro, slow it down."
Yeah, I think, and I hear that too. I think it's really like the way I can see it going, bro.
PTSD, Luffy.
It's something similar to what you're saying, bro. I see it like if let's say they're together and Sabo's apparently Sabo and Koala somehow meet up with the Straw Hats and they go to Marine Ford or something. Just hypothetically, I could see Sabo being like, Luffy, you're going to be king of the pirates. You keep moving. I'll stop. Let me handle Akainu. You know, I could see it really being like that. And Luffy being like, you know what, punch him for me, and Sabo be like, all right, bet, or something like that episode of Windbreaker we just saw, like Windbreaker season 2 type thing, like Sakura wanted to go up the stairs and go box, and the second year I think it's what Kaji or whatever was like, yo, nah, I got this. You know what, you have other stuff to deal with. Let me handle this. So
Don't get me
I think
started on
really
that episode.
Sabo really has more reason to be upset because he wasn't there. Like at least Luffy like freed him, and obviously Luffy had to see him die right in front of him, which sucked. But like Sabo found out through the newspaper, You know, like that's what really broke him down even more because he's like, dang, it's not even like I could if he feels bad because he's like, if I were there, we definitely would have gotten Ace out of that scenario, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's like, yo, when I see Akainu, it's up, like it's over.
Let Luffy have PTSD moment flashback. Sabo saves the day. Boom. Simple. That's all you need. Nothing more.
There it is.
All right.
And so that's what we got there because we know how good Sabo is. So Rob, when the Straw Hats went away on their 2-year break and they met back up with each other, why didn't Robin tell Luffy that Sabo was still alive?
You mean post time skip?
Yes, she spent her time with the time skip with the Revolutionary Army. When they met up with Sabo, she clearly said that she knew Sabo. So she met him in those 2 years. I'm sure it probably came up in conversation at some point. Hey, Luffy's my captain. But when they met back up, she never once was like, oh, hey, guess who I saw?
Well, I don't know. Well, so that's the thing. Like, it could be a thing of obviously Sabo wanting to meet Luffy in person. It could be that too. And also there was a long time where Sabo he just got his memory back conveniently. But there was that, right? He didn't really remember fully what was going on. So there's also that too. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely interesting. I never even thought about that, but I think it was more so of a thing of like maybe Robin wasn't really, they didn't have that deep of a conversation. I mean, until like Sabo, or it could be Sabo being like, "Yo, wait until I meet Luffy. Like, I want to meet Luffy myself," you know. Because when they met, that was like one of the greatest episodes ever. When like Luffy finally saw Sabo.
I know when he found out that he was still alive. No, that was a great moment. But you know, that is a thing because we know how big of that moment was when Sabo found out about Ace and Luffy, and all of a sudden that all triggers his memory, and we know how pivotal that whole thing is to the story of One Piece.
Right.
But we know other deaths are also pivotal to animes as well. That is what we call a segue, because I need to ask you guys now, between Ace's death and Jiraiya's death, which death impacted their story more?
Get them.
Impacted the story more or sadder?
No, everyone does sadder. Which impacted their story more?
Let me sit with this for a second.
Take your time, Pastor. Take your time. Take your time, Pastor.
I'm going to go with Ace. I think Jiraiya's death was very impactful for Naruto. And not even just Naruto, but for Nagato and that whole scenario, right? But I think going beyond that, because Jiraiya had a lot of impact on people, whether it was Minato, Kakashi was reading his books, right? You have Yahiko, Conan, Nagato, you have Naruto. So he had an impact on a lot of people. I would say that like Jiraiya had the Midas touch. But at the same time, though, like, you know, when you look at Ace was one of those characters that really was put on the radar of being like, yo, this is one of the greatest pirates out here. And he's on Whitebeard's crew. Whitebeard was a character that literally could have been the Pirate King if he wanted to at a certain point in time, like Doflamingo said, but like that wasn't his goal. Ace's death caused literally the biggest war in One Piece, like since like the Joy Boy era, literally. And from that, you have what came out of Marineford. Marineford was so powerful that even Rayleigh found his way over there. You know what I'm saying? Rayleigh, who was in hiding for how long, came outside. The Dark King, Roger's right-hand man. Marineford changed the whole scope of the Marines. You got to remember, Akainu and Kuzan fought after that. And then that's how Akainu became the fleet admiral and Kuzan left. And then from that, he joined the Blackbeard Pirates. it forced so many things to happen within the story. It literally changed the world. Whitebeard confirmed that the One Piece was real through having that entire war. Again, all of this happened because of Ace. So like when you look back on it, like Ace's death impacted the story on a way grander scale. Because it caused Whitebeard to pass away. Indirectly, it did cause Whitebeard to pass away. It caused Luffy to go into shock and realize that, like, hey, if I want to protect my crew, I now I need to learn hockey. I need to be one of the greatest fighters in the series. I need time to train and get better. So I think, again, as much as I think Jiraiya's was impactful, it was kind of impactful for the pain arc and that whole thing. But once Naruto got, talked to Nagato and that was taken care of, it was kind of like, all right, it's cool. It's not like Jiraiya wanted to be Hokage or anything like that anyway. Once Jiraiya passed and that whole situation went through and it was sad, we still had stuff going on. We still had the war. We still had whatever, blah, blah, blah. But Ace and his death, it ended up changing the entire One Piece world. The One Piece world was never the same after Marineford. Never. So I think I would go with Ace.
Okay.
W take.
Jasirii?
Jordan. Yes, Mac. W take.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. W take. Yes, what's going on, Jordan? King of New York, what do you say?
Honestly, I gotta agree, because the one thing that pissed me off about Naruto was Nagato should have won. That talk no jutsu picked on pissing me off. I promise you, it pissed me off to this day. I will never get over it. I will always forever be bitter about it. Like, ain't no way that you're just gonna talk me and out of my whole crew with all of us all thinking the same thing at the same time, beating everybody ass the same way. Like, no.
So talk no jutsu. Naruto would never
actually
work
beat Pain before he talked no jutsu'd him, though. Pain was defeated.
Was he really?
Yes, and then he went to go talk to this man. He had nothing left. Naruto could have killed him right there if he wanted to.
How you feel about that, Jasirii?
Keep it a bean with you. It was okay if he didn't have help, but it's whatever. It's plot armor.
I will say Pain almost soloed the entire village, though, basically.
He almost had an ace.
The village would have been a whole.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
See, I was thinking more of a rival reference. You went that reference, so that's crazy. I was thinking more of a rivals. See, look, Jasirii, your mind is diabolical. This day forward, it's crazy. Put that on record.
Okay, well, it looks like Jasirii feels some type of way about Naruto's talking no jutsu and the Pain fight, and he agrees with Rob about Ace's death impacting more. So, sir, I will leave the floor to you then.
I say definitely between the two. I'm going to say Ace. And excuse me. When it comes with Jiraiya, I feel like when Jiraiya death was impactful, it was more a personal thing than it was with the world changing when I saw it, because it was like, of course, he had like certain people that he felt that it was like insane to them, like close ones, but Ace had a generational touch with everybody. It once the world find out that Ace was going part, and especially when Whitebeard parted his name in the crew, it changed the whole world aspect of how each pirates will run. And Ace's name is forever down the legacy. You can't look here. I know Jiraiya had a funeral, but my man had a funeral at the battlefield with the statue on top of the side, newspaper known everywhere worldwide. Like, that's how big Ace death was. It wasn't small. Like, it was just one of the things. Like, hey, have you heard? Hey, did you hear about this? Hey, my nigga Ace just really away. Hey, Ace really just went away. Like, bro, the world went insane. So Jiraiya was more personal. Ace was a generational for sure.
Right.
We got to the point that like everybody want to try to find the flame fruit, bro. And then when we find out that Doflamingo had it, that made it turn different. Like, what? Huh? Nah, bro.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how insane Ace was. Like they knew how broken Ace was. That's how much they needed that fruit. So,
Right. He was number 2 after Marco.
mm-hmm.
Really, right?
Come on now. What pirate do you know that could just be like, you know what? I know I'm part of the biggest pirate crew in the world. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want though. Bye.
Yeah.
All right, all
It's the fact,
right.
and it's the fact that he's Roger's son too. So it was like it was already
Right,
it was
right.
super up.
Set in
You know?
stone. What you mean?
Yeah.
When I think about any time a death impacts any kind of story, a lot of times for me personally, I gotta rewind back and ask myself, how would these stories have played out if they never died? Like when you think about the domino effects of what happened with each of them, we know Ace was obviously huge because if Ace never dies, then there's a lot of things that don't happen. Luffy doesn't go into shock the way he does. Maybe there's this new level of motivation. Whitebeard may still be around. Sabo never gets a flame fruit. Does Sabo even get his memory back? It's like,
Yeah, and it changes the scope of the Blackbeard Pirates too. All that.
Mm-hmm.
All that.
Like-
Just Ace getting locked up caused Blackbeard to, he went to Impel Down and freed Shiryu, and like there's a lot that happened with the whole Ace thing, because that's why he wanted to get the Warlord title in the first place. So he's like, hey, let me go get a big fish who was Ace at the time, and then once I have that on my belt, then I can start to move. And then he's like, all right, well, dang, I'm gonna go into Impel Down and start getting out some level 6. That's where you got Shiryu, Katarina Devon, like all those people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was big for Blackbeard too. Like Ace affected the whole world. Sorry to cut you off though. But yeah.
No, you're fine. Like I said, I'm not gonna say, it's not the same with Jiraiya, because there's some domino effects with Jiraiya as well. The question becomes like vastly. I think most of those end up with Naruto himself though, because there's a lot of things. Is like if Jiraiya was able to escape that place from Nagato and
He
did
could've.
not die, how
Yes,
does
he
that
could've.
stuff fall going from there? That
Mhm.
means, is Jiraiya there at the village when Pain attacks? Does Naruto need to go learn Sage Jutsu? It's like when Naruto was able to do what he did to get Nagato to bring a whole bunch of people back to life, because Nagato packed a bunch of people up at that village, Kakashi included. And when he came back and everybody had like finally, and one of my favorite moments in the entire series, finally like looked at Naruto and acknowledged him as the hero of the village. That doesn't happen. Maybe it'll still happen eventually, but that's what I'm saying with Sage Jutsu and just knowing what he meant to everybody. But like you guys said as well, even if that happens, Jiraiya is still there. And between Jiraiya and Naruto, I would have liked to think that one of them would have been able to get through to Nagato eventually. And maybe they still would have been able to get him to turn around from there. Now, would Naruto still learn Sage Jutsu? I'm sure he would have done that eventually. Like, I think they still would have got to a lot of places. It just would have happened a lot later.
Mm-hmm.
There are things in One Piece that just do not happen if Ace doesn't die. It is like a complete trajectory of that entire story. So, like I said, I want to bring that to you guys, but ultimately, even though Naruto's my favorite anime, I already broke down all the things that would not have happened if Ace was still around. And it is just, let's see what the chat's saying right now. Pang was convinced that Jiraiya could have beaten him too.
I still say this to this
Figured
day.
it out a few minutes earlier.
I still say this to this day. Jiraiya could have left. Curiosity just killed the beast.
That's a fact. And I'm not gonna hold you. This is just my personal opinion. Naruto would have ended up learning Sage Mode anyway from Jiraiya, personally, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's why I said if he didn't die, I think these events of Naruto still happens. They just don't happen as soon as they do.
Mhm.
They still all happen eventually. Only now you have, the luxury of Jiraiya being there by your side when a war breaks out. And, having Jiraiya there with you with the fourth great ninja war, there's some things that could get tipped in scales. But Ace completely changes so much, especially when it comes to Sabo getting an entire devil fruit, and like we said, Whitebeard, and there's a lot
There's too
that
much with
completely
Ace.
changes.
Ace name is too much in One Piece world for it not to be stained. Like if you have Shanks to come and stop the war and says no, give me the bodies of them too. You desecrated them too enough. That says a lot.
Yeah.
That's a big factor.
No person that you know in war content like that. Just saying, just stops wars and just be like, "Hey yo, stop it, give me the bodies, or I could just fight y'all right here, right now. What's up?"
Right. But no, I
Simple.
definitely appreciate getting you guys' impact on that. That's gonna make some nice clips and all of that stuff. But I feel bad because we had a lot of One Piece talk, and Kumar does not know a lot about One Piece up
No,
to this
I will
point.
say this though about this question: the fact that even me, not keeping up with One Piece back then, but still getting that spoiler back in what that was like episode, like a little under episode 500 or whatever. That was like in the 2010s. Like I think it was 2010 when that happened. Like I was getting those spoilers on fucking what was it, like Facebook, MySpace, like still then. So the fact that people were actually talking about it like that in this, like, because social media was still so new then, like back in the day, I was still getting that, not even really knowing One Piece. It kind of speaks for itself. Like, don't get me wrong, like of the big three, Naruto is my favorite too. Again, I have not watched all of One Piece, I've caught up, but just the fact that that was talked about so much, and it's still talked about, and I still feel like people who don't even watch One Piece or even care about the big three know that Ace is dead. You know what I mean? Like people who only watch shoujo know that Ace is dead in One Piece. That's how like much of that was a moment in time and has been like, you know, spanned up till now. Like I feel like that's such a hard spoiler to not know, you know? So it kind of speaks for itself.
Unfortunately, with today's social media, if anybody dies, the whole
Yeah,
world's gonna know
but like I
about
was
it.
saying, like
I know. I'm
even
just
back
saying
then,
now.
yeah, no, but
Now
it's
everybody knows everybody that died, whether you want to know it or not.
But yeah,
But
like
that is
even
just where
again,
we
like
are.
I feel like just the fact that people like you would know about it even because of just that era of time of it being talked about through like whatever internet access you had. You know,
That just
it
goes
was
to
a
show you
big
how
it was
much
a
of a
big deal.
bigger impact it was back then because of where social media was at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're going to get you back involved again, Kumar, because we are about to rapid fire close down the podcast with a couple of rounds of what we like to call One Has to Go. And I know you're very familiar with One Has to Go because you have since changed one of your answers on a One Has to Go topic.
Your bubbles.
When you said Bubbles has to go from the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh yeah, no, you guys,
went
I
back
mean,
on
in
that.
retrospect, when you guys laid it down the line, my pick was clearly the weak link of the three.
That man said Buttercup. I said, "Are you?" That man said, "Oh, we
I also forgot the
Bubbles
fact
gotta
that,
go."
like, yeah, Bubbles and Buttercup had like extra powers than Buttercup.
No, Buttercup too much for me. She can go respectfully.
Is that
Why?
respectfully? She
What the
can go.
hell, bro? She's the main
But
reason why they are.
let's go ahead and keep our first round of One Has to Go to anime. In fact, I'm going to call this One Has to Go Anime Teacher / Senseis Part 1.
Oh, this is
So One Has to Go. Koro Sensei from Assassination's Classroom, Jiraiya from Naruto, or Master Roshi from Dragon Ball. I'm starting with you, Kumar.
Damn, that's tough. But I think Koro has to go. I can't do that to Roshi or Jiraiya. I can't. Like Roshi was. I've watched Dragon Ball since the jump. And Jiraiya, you know, Jiraiya is Naruto. So Koro Sensei's got to go. Unfortunately, I have too much nostalgia to keep those two than to keep a show that was made like post 2010.
Damn.
I have too much nostalgia.
All right, fair enough. Rob, what do you
That
say?
universe is blown up. Go ahead.
That universe is gone.
Oh, no. I'm just absorbing what you know what's being talked about. But yeah, I agree. Koro Sensei gotta go. Personally, I think Jiraiya and Roshi staples. Iconic figures. Not saying Koro really isn't, Assassination Classroom was solid too. Great series. But yeah, we go back and rewatch film on people like Jiraiya. We rewatch film on Roshi. You know what I'm saying? I watched Assassination Classroom one time, but I wasn't really rewatching anything like that. I'm keeping it up. It's a great series though, but yeah, those two are staples.
Okay. What about his actual teachers themselves?
Oh, so wait, were we doing this as characters or as teachers?
No, I'm asking because a lot of this should factor in. You know, nostalgia goggles seem to be on with you guys, so I'm just kind of helping bring this into perspective.
I didn't know what it was.
You.
I thought
Go
we saying
ahead.
like, who's the best teacher?
No,
if we're saying who's the best,
you.
We're getting rid of one.
We're getting rid of one, but it's just how you feel about what these characters in front of your faces. So one has to go. There's no right or wrong answer over here.
I just
Yo,
want to
yeah.
make sure that y'all were I just want to make sure
Y'all
y'all were
y'all
configuring everything, but it seemed like so far it was just nostalgia. This is who I grew up with. But everything takes into account. Like, so I'm just so that's why I just want to make sure I ask the question just to see where your head's at.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about them as actual teachers?
See, Roshi might be on the line. If we being honest, Roshi might be on the line.
He told the
Jiraiya, like I said
what
before,
happened?
Jiraiya got the Midas touch. Everybody Jiraiya crossed paths with, like they were lit. Kakashi, Minato, Nagato, Yahiko, Conan, Naruto, like everybody Jiraiya crossed paths with, they ended up being nice. Like, and you could say the same for Koro Sensei in that regard. Like his class, everybody became
he
elite.
touched a group of he impacted a classroom of children severely.
It was very quick for Goku to be like, all right, Roshi, tell me what you need to teach me, and then outgrew him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then you go to King Kai's planet. All the way now it's Whis and Beerus, right? So there's a whole thing of like him training, and he outgrew Roshi quickly. Now, is that Roshi's fault? No, but
I think it just given the circumstances of where they are in each show, they played the purpose of what they're there for. Like Roshi's there to, he was honestly, to answer your point, Roshi was a stepping stone for someone like Goku to learn a very, unique but impactful attack, and then go on to get stronger to the next to get taught by somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, like you said, Jiraiya has touched so many like lives in his teachings, and with Pain and his group, and Kakashi and the Leaf Village, and same with Koro Sensei. I think they, as teachers, have taught their students a lot more than I think Roshi has.
Yeah.
And I think Roshi's bigger gimmick is just being kind of a pervy old dude than a teacher in retrospect.
We can't listen.
Krillin, not saying Jiraiya isn't
Krillin.
either.
I'll say Krillin also wouldn't be Krillin without Roshi, but I think it's a matter of like,
yeah, but with that regard, like not everybody that Roshi has taught has leveled up like Goku. Again, that's Goku being a Saiyan,
right? He's a Saiyan, that,
but
so
like
for what he did for Krillin and them, like that's still elite though.
But
I'm just saying, I think as we're ranking them on how great they teach, if that's what we're doing, yeah, Roshi's the worst one.
Just overall, that's what I was saying. This your personal one has to go. It's just I was trying to protect you guys from just looking at it like, oh, I love this character growing up. Get rid of them.
I want you to burn.
It's my job to bring all the perspectives. I'm the host. This is what I do. This is the hot seat.
I just want to see you burn on a hot seat, so it ain't bad, bro.
Yeah, fuck all that. Just answer.
So that's what I said. So with all of that, you can stand on business. You can still say Koro Sensei.
Don't take back what you say. Just stand on it, bro.
Well, I mean, they both said it already, so.
I know, absolutely.
What did we say, Jasirii? What did we say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what did they say, Jasirii?
They both said Koro Sensei. They both blew up the other universe. They both said that.
Yep, there we go.
And of course, it's 5K.
There we go.
8K, my bad.
As long as he been listening, that's all that matters. So y'all both said Koro Sensei can definitely go. Jasirii, what would you say, brother?
Yeah, first off, I'm disappointed in both of y'all trying to play me like that, but all right. So like I was saying, unlike the other two, Yeah, I gotta say it. I'm from the Bronx. All right, so let's go. Let's talk about it like this. When we talking about the nicest teachers, right? We
Okay.
gotta look at it like, yes, two of them are perverts, but whatever. You feel me?
I can make a case that all three of them are, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
say,
mean,
hold on.
listen, the
He
other one is
Chrono
tentacles. I know
Sensei
a
ain't
lot of
safe
girls that are
being
into that.
that type
But
of way.
anyway, but Master Roshi, his teachers was great for a while, but then you had somebody like Tien step in. I'll let that sink in. And then, but it's kind of the same. Jiraiya always been about that, been big body, been humble. Like, yo, I murdered the whole clan, but I'm gonna teach y'all three. I'm gonna take y'all three. Y'all three got it. All right, come over here. I got you. Koro Sensei, here's a gun. Here's a knife. Here's another weapon. But in the meanwhile, learn about this little history fact real quick. How can you know the 35-degree angle law? Yeah, jump on those two corners and then catch them in the back. All right, good. But on actually teaching wise, I give it to Jiraiya and Kodo Sensei. Even though I only seen Assassination Classroom twice, just because I wanted to rewatch it because I was bored one weekend. The old pervert that he was getting PDF files sometimes, but I understand that was the gimmick.
Mm.
But
Ghost
yeah,
said not. Ghost said nah. To be honest, excluding the cycle of hatred, Jiraiya kinda on the line as a teacher. How Naruto come out of the time skip, only having more chakra control and failing to tame the Nine Tails.
Mm, that's a different. Ooh, ooh. See, I ain't saying nothing. Mm-mm. I ain't hopping in y'all world. Nope, you ain't finna get me today. Nope, nope, nope,
Reason why
no.
I'm gonna stay out of this because
No, no, no. That was a trap. You ain't finna Yu-Gi-Oh me. No.
All right.
So
Well, what's your answer, King of New York? You letting go?
or he's
oh, I thought I said it already. Like teacher wise, I'm letting Master Roshi go
mm,
Fair enough,
because
sir. You're up.
all right, I can go ahead and put it nice and simple like this. One teacher, basically, you have a good, nice woman teacher, but the whole world is on the line, and then you have no choice but to learn to be an assassin because it's called assassination classroom to get rid of the most biggest threat in the entire world. But when you learn about his history and morals, you understand why. So it's very deep and emotional path for, and he very much cares about his students 100%. So I can legit learn. The man legit walked around quoted Naruto in the class. Hello, stop playing with Colonel Sensei. The man is touched for culture out here. Stop playing with him. When it just came to him, and to be fair, but the other one, he is very less because some of the aspects on the show, it doesn't even happen to him on purpose. It just happens, especially with that spy girl lady, and she saw the tentacles and stuff like that. That really was not his fault. That was more of her acting all extra. It took it to the wrong portion. That's just the gimmick. Like she said, give me a show. So no, my Kono Sensei, he's staying for sure. I'm not getting rid of him. No, you crazy, and especially when at the end. At the end, are you bugging me? Yo, y'all crazy. If you had to get rid of somebody that you love to death, that was the message right there too.
With a smile on your face.
S- Stop playing. Stop playing. So no, I'm keeping my Ayo. I'm not gonna get rid of the speed demon. Stop it. Quit playing with me, bro. Jiraiya has a when it comes with impactful and stuff like that, I just feel like Jiraiya it's I feel like I'd be more mad cool more with Jiraiya than I do with Roshi. I ain't gonna lie. I don't feel like being Roshi would just be that cool of two people, so just be talking piece of the pot. So I'm just going by like personal feelings of me just going around and stuff like that. Especially the teaching aspect too. Like Krillin really only got motivated because of Goku. It wasn't just the fact of like, yo, you are Master Roshi, I got this too. But when he just saw Goku do it better, that made Krillin want to work more. So it was just like, ah, yeah, he taught me, but then after the teacher's done, all right, Goku, hell out of my face. Go off with the world. Go find something
right.
else to do. Like, I got nothing else to teach you, bro. Like, bye. Go do what you want. So I was like, all right, good. So I'm gonna say Roshi could go. I'm keeping Jiraiya because I feel like he what hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna keep Yeah, I'm gonna keep Jiraiya.
Stand on business.
I'm gonna
Yes.
keep it dry. No, it's the reason I said that because I remember, remember a long time ago we had this conversation at the B&B and momocon, and then we had a big conversation about was Jiraiya a good teacher?
Mm-hmm.
And then what's his name put out some good points, and you have some good points as well.
Yes, exactly. Which is why now it's my turn, and I can tell you right now,
Yeah.
that Jiraiya is going nowhere, because at the end of the day, people could talk about, well, what chakra control did he have? What this did he have? What that did he have? The biggest thing that Jiraiya really taught Naruto was basically being a nice person, the way of peace. Everything that he told Nagato, he learned directly from Jiraiya. I can make the argument that all of Jiraiya's way of life, the way he approaches things, all of his teachings are really what helped Naruto become Hokage in the first place. Without Jiraiya, Naruto does not hit that path whatsoever. With Master Roshi, let's see. With Master Roshi, number one, do you really want to brag about the fact that he trained Yamcha? We know how Yamcha got packed up.
I still stand for Yamcha.
Goku taught himself the Kamehameha wave. He just saw Roshi do it and then he mimicked it and just immediately knew how to do it. Didn't teach him that. Roshi didn't teach them any fighting moves. He just had them run around doing errands and chores all day, and then was like, okay, now jump up in the air. Yeah, you see that? Your training is complete. Let's go to the tournament.
Right. Then Roshi had to face Goku in a tournament just so he won't have to be bored.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's the whole reason my teaching. I don't want him to thinking that he be bored of fighting somebody superior. So I'm like, wait, so you did taught him everything you know? What's going on?
No, he didn't teach him anything. He didn't teach him any moves. He didn't teach him the Kamehameha wave. You know, like he didn't even teach anybody the evil containment wave. People just have to figure this stuff out. Roshi did things, and then y'all just have to go, how do you do that? You know what? Fine. You don't want to tell me? I'll figure out how to do it. What did Roshi really teach anybody? You can say some life lessons because he did have to go pack up Goku in the martial art tournament and then let him know, hey, I had to do that because you need to know that there's always going to be a bigger threat out there and I don't want you to be complacent. What path did that leave Goku down? One where he's always alienating his family because all he ever wants to do is train. I blame Roshi for that.
Rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So yes, Roshi's out of here. I'm sorry.
Tell you, keep my Kyono Sensei. What you mean? With a big smile. I'm glad you said that, because that means you watched it. I'm so proud of you, Uncle. That means you watched it. How long did it take you?
I'm weak.
Here's the thing, sir. You'd be surprised, and we've seen this every times before on the podcast. You'd be surprised what animes I've seen. Just because I don't talk about them all the time, you'd be surprised what animes I've seen. Obviously, I'm going to talk about my favorites, or when some come up in conversation, I'm going to mention them. But let's go ahead and move on to One Has to Go Teacher/Sensei Part 2. This time, we have Biscuit from Hunter x Hunter.
Where's Genkai?
Genkai's not on here. Don't worry.
No, not Genkai. Genkai.
Oh, Genkai.
No, I know Genkai.
Yes, is
Genkai?
on here, and Aizawa.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew this motherfucker. Think I'm gonna give what? You think I'm gonna get rid of Genkai?
Yeah, Genkai's not going.
No. Genkai's locked.
Crazy?
I think it's across the board. Genkai's locked.
No, Genkai's going nowhere.
Man, Genkai's locked in already.
What you mean? What he say? You ain't going nowhere.
That's Spider-Man? Is that
yeah,
You ain't going nowhere.
I got you for 3 minutes.
You know what, then, sir? I'm just gonna start with you, then, and I can probably think you're probably gonna get rid of Biscuit, aren't you?
You goddamn right. I'm gonna get rid of Biscuit. You goddamn right. You goddamn right. Look, and I see it in Rob's face. I know. It's okay.
I don't agree, but I'm gonna let all of y'all finish.
It's okay, and it's okay because I can understand each different perspective of each character on here. Because I'm not gonna be like looking at Biscuit and say anything. No. Biscuit is a really good valid person because Biscuit definitely is one of the people that had gone in the nice stages that where she was. You feel me? If she kind of helped gone in the way of he was most of this time, we came in as Nin until his first teacher teaching him about Nin and ability and stuff like that. But I don't don't have an attachment to Biscuit. I don't. Let's just keep it a band with me. I do not have an attachment to
Spencer
Biscuit
says, "Get Aizawa
At all.
out of here."
at all. I just feel like when it comes with Aizawa and stuff like that, the reason I rock with Aizawa stuff because he always has his life. He always put his life on the line when it could, especially when it comes to the kids and stuff like that. Now, each course is when it comes to these when villain stuff come to the basis, they just somehow have one step closer, and they had a mold, so that made things totally different in everything else aspect. But when it came to Aizawa was so much in pinnacle point in the show, especially teaching and all that aspect. He actually did have to when it comes to teaching the killer move, had to teach him when it comes to having a superhero name, life lesson, choices, and all that stuff. Aizawa is definitely valid when it comes to the name and stuff like that. We don't have to speak about Genkai. We know, all right? We already know about Genkai. I'm not Genkai is said one of the most realest quote in the entire show. Okay. You always want to half-ass shit in life when things get tough. How about you actually get up and do something, you shithead? Like, come on, stop playing with Genkai. Genkai is my. That's my one. It's my
Live
one
action did her dirty. Continue.
Yes, absolutely did her dirty.
Ain't nobody talking about the live action.
No,
Let's
we
be
don't
real.
want to talk about. We don't want to talk about the live action. We gonna leave that where it's at.
Yeah, that's just I couldn't. Yeah.
But no, and then like I said, and especially what became with the war with Aizawa when he had to basically put his whole life on the line when he had to stop with Shigaraki and so many other aspects of stuff, bro. Oh no, bro. Yes, I'm keeping Aizawa. I'm keeping Genkai. Bisky can go respectfully. So that's just me. That's me. So Rob, you can stop looking at me with those eyes of hatred. Yeah, there you go. You can smile now. You can smile now. Okay, you can smile now. I apologize.
It's tough. Man.
Nah, I'm gonna go get my DoorDash.
He's gonna go get his DoorDash. Okay, Rob, I'm going to you.
I think I saw somebody commented too. I believe it was Spencer. It said Bisky too important. Like I kind of feel like I second that. Bisky literally was essential for helping Gon and kill both of them.
Bisky was very important.
It's essential. Like especially in a Hunter x Hunter world where like I feel like things are a lot more like serious and more dire. So Bisky being able to teach them just how Nen really truly works with you know Gyo, Ko, you know their Hatsu abilities, all that type of stuff. Like that was literally like we commend Rayleigh for teaching Luffy Haki. We commend Jiraiya for showing Naruto summoning jutsu and Rasengan and things of that nature. Bisky was that for Gon and Killua. Now, when I look at Aizawa and his role as the teacher, I'm not saying he was a bad teacher at all. He was definitely critical for the story. He was critical for what they did in My Hero and all that stuff. But I feel like UA, being the supreme superior school that it was, had so many different pro heroes that most of the time Aizawa was like, hey, you know what? You're doing something today with, I don't know, 13 or whatever. Like, there's always so many people around that like Aizawa, even though he was their teacher, he kind of felt more like homeroom type of teacher. Like it was more so like you're always going to be around so many different pro heroes at different times. Like you're going to be interacting with a whole bunch of different classes that I feel like the class learned more just being like mini heroes in the school than they did from Aizawa. And again, I'm not saying he was a bad teacher because he definitely showed up. He definitely held it down in key moments. But as far as like him being like, yo, class, like today, like we're souping up and training, like it was more so like, yo, you find your pro hero. Even I think they had moments where they were like, yo, find the pro hero that is gonna be training you. Like you go here and talk to this person. They said like Frappy, you spend time with which pro hero was it?
You're talking about different
It wasn't
agencies.
Gang Orca, was it? No.
You're talking about with the agency troops.
Yeah, with the agency, like it was,
yeah.
But I'm saying it's constantly that, right? It's constantly like Aizawa is kind of just like the point man saying like, all right, today, Deku Bakugo and Todoroki, you guys are hanging out with Endeavor or something like, you know what I mean? Like it's never really like Aizawa for real. But we respect him because he's critical in the war against Shigaraki. He's critical as just being like that home base for the students. but I think Bisky and training them.
Okay. Kumar?
I mean, Genkai's not leaving, that's for sure.
Yeah, Genkai stuff.
I see both of Vocal and Rob's points, but I do think there's a little more recency bias with Aizawa, especially
Come on.
due to like the moment he had against Shigaraki. But I do think that Gon and Killua aren't who they are without Biscuit. I honestly think Gon it would be I think Spencer said it. I think Gon would not Gon wouldn't really be who he is without Biscuit.
Yeah. At all.
Hey, with that big man child form, absolutely. Killua just learned lightning. 2 different people. 2 different forms right there. Mad different. One taught himself farther than God, while the other one was like, I'm a personally trained Gon into the level of me. Literally.
I do feel like Biscuit was definitely more
She was favoring Gon more than
favoring
Killua.
Gon for sure. And I said that I said that a little bit earlier, but
Give me 1 second.
what's that?
Y'all give me 1 second. My fault.
I know you good.
No, you're good because it's Kumar's turn anyway.
Nah, but I do love what Vocal said about Aizawa, because not for nothing, to have that many kids in classroom when they look up to someone like Aizawa and have that be their, again, he does come up as just being a homeroom teacher, but he did instill a lot to them, just being like the first teacher that they come across and instill with them what it means to be a pro hero in the world of My Hero. But I do think that because of the MCs being gone, like Bisky was super important. Like is Hunter x Hunter even about going without Bisky? I don't know. But recency bias, so I'm keeping eyes out.
Okay, so just on the record, you're saying Bisky has to go.
I would keep Genkai and Aizawa.
There were some counterpoints I want to say with Rob, but I'm gonna let him have it. He got it.
No, he's fine. Like he said,
No, he got it. He got it. He got his
what about you, Jasirii?
Keep it being with you. I only want Genkai. The other 2 could go.
Not this bullshit again.
That's the question.
He does this every time.
He does this so many times. Don't let him fool you, bro. He does this every time. He does it all the time, bro. Don't let him fool you. See, this is why I say he's diabolical.
Listen, I'm just saying, what do I need the other 2 for if I got Genkai?
Doesn't matter. Put one on an island.
Bro, say it with your chest, bro.
Yeah, Genkai over everybody.
No. Okay, Summer. No, say it with your chest. Bring one back and put one on an island. That's what we do. You were on the hot seat.
Uh-huh.
Come on, Oda.
Listen. Genkai been had that dog, always got that dog, always put the other 2 in the dirt with that dog. You feel me? Like, it's nobody better. There's nobody better. Look at Yusuke. Look at how much Yusuke grew and learned.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I hear what everybody's saying about Biscuit and Aizawa. You know what I mean? Aizawa had like a whole class that he took care of, that he was teaching. You know what I mean? He took months and months at a time to make sure that they got their abilities right. And if he didn't know, he sent them to the next best thing. You know what I mean? And Biscuit was another dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. Especially with the favoritism, because you know what? We don't shy away from favoritism. Because Killua was already a beast. He really didn't need anything else. He was gonna figure it out regardless. Gon went to the dark side, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. Somebody had to put Pito into the dirt, but as much as I say they could both equally go,
Come on, we didn't need it in Jump Force.
The
damage, the damage that the students could actually do. Killua, Gon offed himself. going completely off himself and lost it. Fell off the deep end into the sea with shackles and chains and bolts. Aizawa had to crash out. Actually, his crash out actually learned a lot more. I'm not gonna front.
I'm gonna say his crash out was only against his best friend being fined out of nowhere. That was his only crash out in the entire series. He didn't crash out at all.
He jumped in like 3 fights when he didn't need to.
Fight.
Bakugo got bodied by, well, the first time by the mud thing, but that was before he became a student.
Come on.
Got him
Well, the
thinking.
first
now.
movie,
come on.
He would have never made it out without All Might's power, because he was trying to fight on his own. Nah, he always trying to fight on his own, literally.
I mean, he's legit the definition of, I ain't gonna say
Crash out.
Batman, but
Crash out.
he has the eraser quirk because he's an eraser for a reason. So once you erase your quirk, there's nothing else you can really do. Like you're
Yeah,
done.
I'm talking about the students, though. I'm not talking about the actual teacher.
Okay. I feel like when it comes with Aizawa though, right? I think people kind of forgets about the main thing about My Hero Academia about this. My man, when it comes to Aizawa, there's only so much he can really do for you if you have a different type of quirk. Because that's why they have different agencies for a reason, to see what field that you are able to feel great and comfortable in, or you can learn for those type of difference of agencies.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there was Endeavor. Endeavor was a great number one. He was a terrible attitude, but he has power that he know how to control. And Deku and everybody else has that same type of power aspect. Froppy, learning about more recon missions and stuff. Oraku, more of karate aspects and stuff like that. Aizawa, and to be fair, people forget to realize that Aizawa helped the mind control guy to become a better hero, and he played a big critical role in the entire My Hero Academia, like when it came with All for One. So Aizawa did so freaking much in the teaching aspect of that world. So that's why I was like, when it comes to him,
It's something the hygienist first.
like too nutty. Like, nah, Aizawa is crazy, bro.
But yes, but Jasirii, your official answer?
My official answer out of all three,
Right,
well, all two, because we already know Genkai not going nowhere, and I still want to say get rid of the other two, but y'all won't let me.
Nope,
will not.
that's not how that works.
Listen, I'm just serious. You can just let it rock.
Never.
I'm gonna lean more toward the violence. Because yes, being a great teacher is a great teacher, but we love a great crash out.
That's just your answer.
So, are you saying Aizawa has to go?
He said he loves a crash out, so Biscuit would go because you claim Aizawa was a crash out.
Oh no, I'm saying teaching how to crash out.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Aizawa
has to go.
Okay.
She handed all her powers to Gon, and Gon crashed out.
Okay.
Everything that he could have did, he said family over everything and murdered.
So we got that on record then. My nephew and Kumar both said Bisky has to go, and everybody else goes with Aizawa, because so do I. I said that earlier, but I'm just going to go ahead and keep mine brief. Bisky's just too important. I'm sorry. She just is. Like, I'm not saying Aizawa's not, like, if we were going powers, I mean, he erased quirks, but this is about teachers. So Bisky's too important, and so she's definitely got to stay. So for the next one, we are going to be doing One Has to Go duos, but not just duos and people and their pets. So One Has to Go Ash and Pikachu, Scooby and Shaggy, or Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch not going to fuck nowhere. Not the fuck nowhere. You got me fucked up. You don't see my favorite color blue? Oh man.
So I ain't gonna lie, sound like you get rid of Shaggy and Scooby.
Yup. I'm glad that you know me this well by now. Shaggy and the nosy ass kids could go. They messing up my 401k and my fraud. It's too expensive over here. I cannot deal with it. Ash and Pikachu, I choose you. But Scooby Doo and Shaggy could get ragged the fuck out of here. That's and to you.
I love a short and quick one. Kumar, you're up.
Man, I think I've seen Shaggy and Scooby and Ash and Pikachu go through thick and thin too much. Well before Lilo and Stitch came around. So I would. Am I frozen? What's happening?
Because you're giving the wrong answer. But go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
That's hilarious. I'm kind of on the front where I don't have too much attachment to Lilo and Stitch. Like Vocal said, he didn't have too much attachment to Roshi, so that's why I'm choosing to go with Shaggy and Scooby and Ash and Pikachu. I just feel like they're not saying that Lilo and Stitch aren't the best of buds, but I feel like when it comes to defining friendships, can y'all still hear me? By the way, I know his.
We can hear you.
Okay.
You're starting to go in and out after a while. I see the thing keeps popping up, but we can hear you just fine.
Yeah, I just feel like just Shaggy and Scooby just facing, their fears together is like very touching. And Ash and Pikachu, their long journey to becoming world champs is something that, I think is awesome as a pairing. They went, through so much too, as well in their adventures. So I'm going with Shaggy, Scooby, and Ash and Pikachu.
Okay, so Lilo and
No,
Stitch has to
Grace.
go.
Man, let me just keep it a band with you. Keep this simple. All right, no. Let's just toss it. Let's kill this all already. The reason Stitch is, Lilo Stitch is even icon is because of Stitch. So we're not even finna do that. So look, Lilo and Stitch can go. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I
I didn't want to be too mean, but like, yeah. You watch the movie for Stitch.
Stitch is the star. Nobody cares about Lilo.
Yeah, you watch the movie for Stitch.
Okay, because when I look here, Jasirii, I play Kingdom Hearts. Who they have?
Ooh.
Listen, we're not talking about the game. We're talking about the story. We're talking about how he changed. All right, Ohana means family. He's ready to murk anybody for his family. He's ready to murk anybody for his family.
Look, if nobody get left behind, he definitely got left behind in Kingdom Hearts. Okay, so I just want to point that out there. So Stitch and Lilo, y'all can go. I'm keeping my Scooby Doo and Shaggy because you're not going to get rid of my pup and my I choose you and Pikachu and stuff like that. I grew up with that, so I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're crazy.
You're crazy. Up to the high kids that
like,
get income taxes,
bro.
You brought the Nerf gun?
Nerf, like, well, hold on. I have two big. Don't play with me. I have bangers.
Ghost says Stitch ain't got no family without Lilo.
I thought he had family after all the. I thought Stitch had a lot of families after the freaking experiments open the castle around the world. So pick one.
Yeah, after Lilo encouraged him to go freedom, they were in bondage.
I thought the professor was going to free him anyways and use it for evil.
At what point?
Where's Rob?
At what point?
At
what point was he going to free them without Lilo?
Biz, he's on a he's definitely sound like he's on a sponsor call right now. How he's gone. He's definitely on a sponsor.
His real life his birth sponsor for sure.
Mm-hmm.
His birth sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm actually curious though, because I know Rob's like, he does love Disney, but I would be curious. I feel in my heart of hearts, I do want to say I think he doesn't get rid of Ash and Pikachu for sure.
I think he'll get rid of Scooby Doo. He might get rid of Scooby Doo.
But he puts on for Shaggy a lot.
Oh.
Like I think for the memes, the memes of Shaggy being like, going Super Saiyan and all that jazz, and
Shaggy feel
yeah. But I don't think he's the biggest Disney fan. He's definitely tapped in for sure. Don't get me wrong, but I've never heard him talk about Lilo and Stitch once though. Like, you know what I mean? So
you're missing.
I want to say he would have the same answer as us, vocals, but he could surprise. I'm honestly surprised he went 50 in the previous one. Actually, I'm not.
Okay. I mean, he'll be back eventually. Y'all want to do any over unders on what you think he will pick?
I would say, if for the way of how Kumar's talking, if he loves Lilo and Stitch that much, okay. But I'm going to say, I'm gonna say Scooby Doo. I'm gonna say
I think he
Scooby
picks
Doo.
Scooby over Lilo and Stitch because I know for a fact he's not getting rid of Ash and Pikachu.
Yeah, I know that for sure. I know he
Yeah.
loves Pokemon. That's not going nowhere. So I'm gonna say Scooby Doo. I'm gonna say Scooby Doo. I haven't really seen him talk about Scooby Doo. No, but then I'm gonna change my answer. Lilo and Stitch. I'm gonna stay there. Lilo and Stitch. I'm gonna stay.
Okay, so you say probably Lilo and Stitch. Kumar's probably saying Lilo and Stitch. Look, I'm gonna go with whatever Kumar says. He knows him the best. So if you say he's never talked about Lilo and Stitch,
I've never heard him talk about Lilo and Stitch.
then that means he's probably got no kind of emotional attachment to them whatsoever.
Yeah. Yellow.
He said that.
Nobody touching that.
No Excalibur this time. You're not gonna leave to go find a spirit bomb or something because you're usually trying to find something to let us know how you feel. But you got this time for us, dog. I'm waiting on it. Where is it? Where's your Iron Fist, bro? What's going on, bro? Like you don't got nothing for us? Not this time?
Okay.
Well, did you answer yet, Joe?
No, I did not answer yet. I always answer right before we go over. So we'll circle back on this whenever Rob gets back. But for now, I am a Disney nut. Everybody knows I am a Disney fanatic. I've said that all the time. I absolutely loved Lilo and Stitch. I used to watch the series, Lilo and Stitch the series. I thought was actually a really good show.
I love the show.
Like I don't think they really put anything out bad. I like Stitch the movie. Like I like pretty much everything that they put out. I'm looking forward to I'm actually looking forward to the remake, the live action one.
No, everything was fine. When it got to Leroy and Stitch, I ain't gonna lie, that one got a little.
It's all right.
That one got a little.
But that's because that was, that's when they started. That's like Kronk's new groove. You know what I'm saying? It's like then they kind of just like, all right, you're not bad, but no one asked for this. But
like Stitch as a Glitch was fire though, for sure.
Stitch as a Glitch was fire.
It was really good.
But yes, no, I'm looking forward to the live action movie that comes out. Like I am
heavy.
I'm gonna be there. It looks like it's gonna be very well, and Disney needs a win. They really do, especially after that Snow White debacle. They need a win.
They got Mufasa, bro, before Sonic will swipe them out the way. They have Mufasa, dog.
I mean, yes, Mufasa did pretty well, but they just knew. First of all, they had no business doing a live action Snow White. Nobody asked for that.
No, the Caucasus did, but continue.
No, I was about to say, it's like, was anyone really sitting around going, you know what they should do a live action remake of? We need some Snow White up in here. Like,
Jasirii.
You know what the complaining happened? The complaining happened, and then after that, and I'm not apologizing. The complaining happened, and then you see what happened with Black Panther and everything else, and they were like, "We need something. We're tired of this shit." All right, there you go.
All I know is
that
the
one
movie.
little clip of what's her face turning into the costume fucking got me crying. Whatever her name is, Gal Gadot. That shit got me dying.
Oh my god!
You're not wrong.
That movie flopped so hard. If I'm not mistaken, I think Sinners did more in its first weekend than Snow White did its entire run.
I'm not surprised.
100 out of 10.
They're comparing
100 out of 10.
When they compared Snow White to the Dragon Ball Evolution, I cried.
Oh, nice.
Here's the thing. All you heard last year was I forget her name who plays Snow White. Even when you just heard her on the red carpet talking about the plot of this movie, people were like, "Nah, that don't sound right."
At least Jack Black said, "Hey, my movie's gonna be a hit." At first, we questioned it. Nah, I ain't gonna act like we.
Now look, whether people, here's the thing about the mind.
Because the animation looked weird at first until I figured out they switched some stuff.
Here's the thing: I haven't seen the Minecraft movie, but here's the thing about the Minecraft movie that I can say, because I've known just from a bunch of people I've talked to, whether you like the movie or not doesn't really matter. Everybody's morbid curiosity brought everybody to the movie theater, and they watched it anyway. Snow White couldn't even get people to go watch it, and it's got the Disney logo on it.
The mouse was win every time.
I'm a Disney head. I didn't go see it.
No, you're just
Because it
And,
wasn't made for you.
We're doing Rob, we're doing a one has to go character and their pet, Lilo and Stitch, Ash and Pikachu, or Scooby and Shaggy.
Me and Vocal say Ash and Pikachu and Scooby and Shaggy stay.
So far, I think everybody's getting rid of Lilo and Stitch.
Except Jasirii.
Thank you.
Yes, Jasirii got rid of Scooby and Shaggy.
Yeah, Jasirii got rid of Scooby and Shaggy.
Why are you in Paul right now? You look so appalled.
Because this is tough.
So we were trying to guess, because I've heard you speak about Shaggy, and I know you love Shaggy. I know you love Pokemon, but I've never heard you talk anything about Lilo and Stitch, even though I know you're a huge Disney guy. So that's why I don't know who. I know you're keeping Ash and Pikachu, that's for sure. Oh wait, we never even thought of the possibility that he gets rid of Ash and Pikachu.
Ain't no way though. There's no way.
That's what we're saying.
There's no way. There's no way he's getting rid of Ash Pikachu though. There's no way. There's no way.
Stitch is my N word. I do not care. I will be. I will blur it out myself.
Honestly, these duos are all great, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get rid of Lilo and Stitch, man. I think I'm gonna have to get rid of
The
Lilo
over under wins. Everybody was saying that's probably who you would get rid of.
Yeah.
Right.
I think.
Go get your Excalibur. Go in the corner and cry. Go find something, Jasirii.
It's tough, but again, these are all great duos, but like Ash and Pikachu, Scooby and Shaggy are just like, come on.
Yeah, I was saying we've seen them both go through too much, like for so long before Lilo and Stitch was even a thing.
Yeah.
Look, are you asking me to change my theme song from Pokemon? I'm not doing it. You asking me to get rid of my theme song for Pokemon? I'm not doing it.
Okay, Jasirii is back with a weapon.
Wow!
He pulled the double.
He brought out Oblivion.
He blew out Oblivion for a double.
Wow! My fault, bro. Who are we supposed to take out?
The demons, apparently, because he brought out Dante's sword.
Oh no! Apparently, no. He got rid of Scooby Doo and the dog.
Yeah,
I was tired of them ruining taxes.
That's all they do. We've had this conversation.
They get high and ruin fucking claims.
All people are doing is just trying to run people off of property so that they can claim it. They're not bothering people. Y'all just come through.
America already takes enough money.
Wait, Joe, who you keeping aside from Lilo and Stitch then?
Yeah, we got sidetracked when I was talking about the live action, and then somehow we got into a Snow White conversation. I was talking about how much I love Lilo and Stitch and how I'm a Disney nut.
Right.
However, I'm still getting rid of Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, there it is.
All right, Jasirii, go back to the Sleepy Hollow right now. Go back to Wake Window. Go back to Wake Window.
It's all right, because there's another thing that we always talk about on this podcast. Again, we do a lot of anime, we do a lot of cartoons, but we also do gaming. And, last week we had a pretty interesting one has to go, which we're not going to get into right now. That was with game systems. A game system we did not mention in that conversation was the Super Nintendo, because we know the Super NES is a very classic game system with very iconic games. So we are going to get rid of one of those iconic games right now. If my arrow will work, one has to go. Super Nintendo Game Edition. Super Mario World, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, or Donkey Kong Country.
Damn.
And Rob, since you just got back, you're first.
Donkey Kong Country gotta go.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Donkey Kong Country gotta go.
Monkeys.
Yeah, it gotta go. It gotta go. Now hold on, vocals. Because we talking. Wait, are we talking a franchise or are we talking just these games in particular?
We're talking about these games.
Oh, okay. Hold on, vocals.
These specific
vocals,
games.
Sit back up. I thought it was like, Mario,
yeah.
Donkey Kong, or Zelda.
Yeah.
Okay. Sit back up, vocals. Sit back up.
Yes, if anyone had the podcast pulled up, you would see I have the logos for these games on the screen.
Okay. My fault. All right, yeah, Link to the Past gotta go. Okay. Okay, you good? You good, vocals?
Yeah, you're good vocals. Yeah.
Yo, see, I thought it was something else. Yeah. Nah, Link to the Past gotta go. Zelda gotta go for sure. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
No, because he
So
said Ocarina of Time, but then I looked at the logo and it says A Link to the Past. So I was
Ocarina of Time
Well,
was on Nintendo 64.
Yeah, but are
He's
we
a
doing?
super-
That's what I'm saying. Which game we doing? Are we doing?
The
a Link
Super
to the-
Nintendo. We're doing A Link to the
he said
Past.
Ocarina of Time. That's why I was bugging.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no.
th-
So
yeah.
A Link
These
to the
these
Past.
are Super Nintendo edition.
Yeah, so A Link to the Past gotta go. Facts.
Okay, so Kumar, you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played way more Mario World and Donkey Kong Country than I ever did Link to the Past. I think my first Zelda game was Ocarina of Time, by the way. So I don't think I ever even played A Link to the Past.
Okay, well then you have a reason to say that. So I will let you off the hook with that, sir.
Excuse me.
Although I think I know your answer, but it's your turn.
Yo, I didn't understand at first, bro. That's all it was. Dude.
And I misheard Joe.
Excuse me.
That's why you should have the podcast pulled up.
I ain't gonna lie, Rob.
No, it's pulled up.
I ain't gonna lie, Rob. When you said that, you put my whole entire left side.
You re-injured.
You know he's recovering.
Yo,
Like, that hurt.
I thought you were talking strictly like
Like,
Mario.
I
Donkey Kong,
felt
or Zelda.
so much like the bullets you have pulled and released definitely impact me. And I'm not Mr. Fantastic. They don't impale back. So it stuck. I felt that. Excuse me, my throat was bugging me. I am going to. I beat the game. I played it. I had it. Just want to point that out there. And that's the reason why I'm saying this. The Link in the Past is going to have to go. It's because it was so annoying for me to beat. It was super annoying for me to beat. Donkey Kong Country was super mad simple. Super Mario World just had like a great tactic. And I tried to speed run to beat the game before, which never worked, but I tried. Okay. And I just have more memories with Donkey Kong Country too. And especially Donkey Kong Country has a theme song that I'm not going to get rid of. Like, come on. Like, they had too many great soundtracks in the back that people are now in YouTube use for their background music. We're not going to get, no, I can't. Like, Donkey Kong is too nice. It's too pure. So, Zelda could go.
Okay, we're 3 for 3 on Zelda. Jasirii.
Yeah, Zelda's a good go. That's it.
Okay, we are 4 for 4
Mhm.
on Zelda. I know that obviously we're talking about A Link to the Past specifically, but I'm sure y'all can see my wall back there.
We know. But I like to see more of 64 than anything else, though. You want me to keep it a band with you?
Oh, we'll put some people on the hot seat for that. A Link to the Past. First of all, Zelda is my favorite franchise. Like, as far as Nintendo goes.
It's Paris
Right.
as well, Drell. So you have that in common with her.
Yeah.
And I wish the Queen was here.
I
But
gotta
we'll
go
get
get
her.
her soon.
We'll get her. We'll get her. We're almost done. We only got one more topic after this.
Gotcha.
So now A Link to the Past. Here's the thing: is A Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time are so similar. I believe they even said that Ocarina of Time was being developed as a Link to the Past remake, and then it ended up becoming, the greatest Zelda game ever created, Ocarina of Time, that I've beaten several times, including the Water Temple before they put the cheats in there on the original N64. Screw the people who, play it on the re-release where they give you the cheats for the Water Temple. Y'all didn't really beat Ocarina of Time. I really beat Ocarina of Time. And we know how iconic Super Mario World is. I mean, it technically introduced us to Yoshi. Technically.
Mm-hmm.
The best Mario character, by the way, per Rob's elimination board post.
That's what Street said. Street said they're Team Yoshi.
Street said, Yoshi. Yeah, Team Yoshi over here.
Team Toad all day.
You said Team Toad?
No, the Donkey Kong Country games in general are just too good. They really are. Like, I will say that I'm more partial to Donkey Kong Country 2 than Donkey Kong Country 1.
Right.
My order would be 2, 1, then 3. If I was, doing the original 3 Donkey Kong countries. So, that would kind of weaken, but not really. As blasphemous as this would sound, because I know someone will come for me for this, but I am letting go of Super Mario World.
Oh wow! The Godfather of Nintendo. You're getting rid of Mario.
Donkey Kong does not move, and the Zelda franchise means way too much to me.
Don't forget, y'all, he's a Sonic guy at the end of the day. Keep that in mind.
And I'm also a Sonic guy at the end of the day.
Yeah. If you're choosing to choose Sonic over Mario anyways, then that definitely
Hey,
makes
I'm
sense.
Team Sonic always, but I still acknowledge what I like more on this list. Which I understand. We all have our own taste.
And that is even with the fact that Donkey Kong Country 1 isn't even my favorite Donkey Kong Country. But I mean, even Super Mario World 3, I like Mario 3 on the NES better than I even did Mario World. Even though I like them both. But no, right. Zelda is just, that franchise means everything to me. And so does the Donkey Kong franchise. They just do. But these games, even in particular, and I had a lot of fun with Super Mario World. I'm not saying that's an easy get rid of by any means. But if you were to lay these 3 games in front of me and say, which one do you want to pick up and stream tonight? I'm going to go with the other 2 before I go with Mario World.
Donkey Kong 64 Cyber, Frankie.
And that's how I kind of go with my answer on that. I'm Team Sonic, but I don't know if I'm getting rid of Mario.
Nice. Facts.
I'm DK of the open world. Yes. That was Donkey Kong 64 on N64.
Mario fan as well. Big
yes, no, and I like Mario, just not as much as Sonic. Anybody knows me knows that. You two can lay out on this one. My 2 co-hosts. This one is strictly just for Kumar and Rob because we did this one already. No, this is the final topic of the day. We did this one, but it was so nice we have to do it twice, and I need to get their opinion on this. Y'all should know where I'm going with this because we just did this. One has to go last week. So Kumar and Rob, one has to go. PlayStation 2 or Nintendo 64.
Choose wisely.
Look at Rob, he's thinking.
Oh, terrible.
Hey,
why would you do this?
All right, because it's the main event, and that's what we do over here.
All right, so N64 was my first console I ever owned as a kid, but I definitely played the most games I've ever played in my life on the PS2, for sure.
And N64 actually does have time.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting rid of the 64. I'm getting rid of the 64. And the thing is as much as I love the 64, I feel like the PS2 had so many bangers, so many from Kingdom Hearts to GTA to you can go on forever, right? And even outside of that, I feel like as great as the 64 was,
what was your first console?
My GameCube, the GameCube for me was like an even better. I love the GameCube. I feel like the GameCube has the best Nintendo controllers or one of the best video game controllers just out there. So I think as tough because obviously N64 had Ocarina of Time.
How old were you when you got both these consoles? They're your GameCube and the PS2. How old were you?
So the PS2 is actually my sister. So she got that.
But how old
maybe? I mean, I'd probably like around like seven, but 7 or 8, something like that. But I had I got the GameCube was like my first like official console. I was playing that when I was like 6 when it came out or something. But yeah, like 5 or 6. But yeah, either way, GameCube, man. I think the GameCube was like one of my favorite Nintendo consoles ever. I just think all the games that came out of there were gas. So like when you're comparing it games to games, like I feel like in order to compete with PS2, you probably have to throw GameCube in here for me, for real. So I would get rid of the 64. PS2 has too many go-to games, yo. It has way too many go-to games. It's like, it's ridiculous. Hey, everything. Guitar Hero wasn't Guitar Hero was on PS2. Like, yo, we could what? Like, yo, nah, it's their PlayStation 2 games, they literally make like arcades out of like nonstop arcade versions and like you play DDR. I played DDR on PS2. You feel me? Like you play anything you want. Really. Yakuza. What else? Literally everything.
You're not wrong.
Everything. NBA Live.
You're not wrong.
Like
it's tough for me because like
2K.
since I was born in 1992, like having the N64 as my first console, that's like literally being like, yo, this is what video games are, right?
Mhm.
Like again, I mean, I grew up next to an arcade, so like going to the arcade was also like something like that was super near and dear and endearing to me, being introduced to video games in that sense too. But like to have to wait for like the PS2, like to have that when I had the N64 as a kid, you know, is man, that was like my introduction to like the home video game console. So that's why I'm so attached to it right now. But if you were to put up the catalogs of games I played N64 wise against the catalog of games that I played PS2 wise, I think my PS2 games are definitely clearing that N64 list. But it's just like the love of like just this is so freaking hard for me right now.
Go ahead.
Go
Go ahead. I could throw some games for 64 for you. I could throw some games for PS. Like I can go both sides.
Ocarina of Time, GoldenEye,
Diddy Kong Racing,
GoldenEye,
Donkey Kong,
Perfect
64,
Dark, Fighting Force
GoldenEye,
64,
WWF No Mercy.
WWE WrestleMania
Super Mario
2000,
Party,
Mm-hmm.
Super Smash
WCW
Bros.
and NWO
Video
Revenge,
Revenge
original.
and World
all the Mario
Tour.
parties.
Mario Party, Mario Kart, the very first Super Smash
Oh, yeah,
Brothers.
very first
Did
Mario
not
Party.
Resident Evil came like the
Best Mario
original
Party.
Resident Evil game over there?
That's Mario Party from GameCube. That's MP4. So I'm
Yo,
I
but
gotta-
real talk,
But-
I'm looking at
but
this.
you wanna
Batman,
talk-
Vendetta and Fight for New York were
I was
all
gonna say-
on the PS2.
I was like
That's why I'm like,
PlayStation.
oh,
They
what
got
we
some
do-
God
what
of
we
War.
really-
You know.
GTA.
Do a barrel
San
roll.
Andreas- San Andreas was y'all got it.
I mean,
Vice
I'm
City
just
San
saying,
Andreas, J3,
like
Devil May
PlayStation.
Cry games were on the PS2.
PlayStation 2 got that.
Rob, don't ever in your life say NBA Live again,
Max
too.
Payne 2. was
Bro,
on
that's what I
PS2.
yo. We had to crawl before we walked.
Yo,
bro.
but Madden
Fam,
2000 was, or Madden 97 was on
See,
N64.
people, we were more Madden than we ever was when we
Ken
came
Griffey's
with
baseball game
NBA
was
Live.
also on the N64 too.
Mm-hmm. And don't you ever mention a sports game without mentioning streets in this category of the conversations. Nobody want to play the
wow,
real
see, I didn't
life.
even get there.
Don't forget NBA basketball too. And we had NBA ballers.
Ballers, I was literally about to say
NBA
ballers. Yeah.
ballers. Stop playing. Come on
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
We had a
yeah.
lot.
Paul
Papa
Marbury had his day.
Rapper, Jack Dester, Sly
Rapper.
Cooper.
Wasn't
Stop
Tony
playing.
Hawk Pro Skater?
That was
wasn't
N64.
that was 64.
Tony was 64.
Okay.
Tony was 64.
That's why it's tough right now. This is painful.
Right, don't get me wrong. PlayStation 2 definitely have Underground and stuff like that.
Yeah, Midnight Club.
Need for Speed.
This is crazy tough.
Just saying.
That's PS2.
Jack Dexter, Ratchet and Clank.
All right. Oh, damn, the Metal Gear Solid franchise. Damn, Metal Snake Eater was on the PS2.
Metal Gear Solid, absolutely. Come on. And the Revengeance one too. Good plan.
Okay.
Resident Evil
All
4.
right. Now that I'm thinking about it, and
Like you said, Perfect
you
Dark.
gotta
Conquers
give it
Bad
up
Fur
to the
Day.
fact of like also the technological aspect too of the PS2 being able to push graphics and have like really good freaking cutscenes and like be movie like in those days.
They were on disc.
Like voice acting too in the gameplay and in the cutscenes and the movies as well. Oh my god, Tenchu Wrath of Heaven was also on PS2.
Like the
Shinobi was on
Matrix.
PS2. Damn, this is. Hey, I gotta go PS2, man. I gotta keep PS2. That sucks. That I had.
All right, and I'm a Nintendo guy, but
And the N64 was literally my first console that I owned and Mario 64 was the first game I played. Literally.
No, that's fine. So that means I will continue to be on that island that actually kept the N64 because they also got rid of the N64. I got rid of the PS2.
see now if you put GameCube, I would have been like,
All I said was you're not getting rid of my Kingdom Hearts. I'm forever keeping my Kingdom Hearts.
That's what
We
I'm saying.
didn't even say
You bugging, and I beat God of War. And
God of War. Yeah, God of War.
and when you get to the ending, there's a voice, there's a number that you call, and you talk to Kratos on the phone. So complain. I'm not.
Look,
Sorry.
I am absolutely, and I've talked about it, I was absolutely the biggest wrestling fan on the planet. I say that I'm one of the biggest WWE fans. I've been watching it my
It's a
entire
drill.
life.
Drill.
And
Here comes the
WWF,
pain.
WWF No Mercy is the greatest wrestling game ever created.
Nah,
I'm
see, I think
sorry.
Here Comes the Pain clears those.
I'm
games.
sorry. I will fight you that all day, every day. It is the greatest wrestling game
I think the PS2 had a better
ever
controller than the 64.
created. And AKI just made some really good games. And I bring that to circle because I was a person that never missed Monday Night Raw on Mondays. When it came on, I had to watch it. But when the very first Super Smash Brothers came out, I played that game all night. I was aware that wrestling was on, and I said, I don't want to get off this game. I don't. Like Super Smash Brothers just opened up like this whole world. From the moment they did that commercial of the,
that commercial,
characters skipping through the field and all the
beating
things,
the shit out of each other.
I was like, what is this? And from that moment on, and just before people got too toxic, Mario Kart is just one of my favorite games ever. Like I can play Mario Kart all day, every day. It ruins friendships these days, but Mario Kart is just. And we've already covered like what the Zelda person I am, and that I think that Ocarina of Time is one of the greatest video games ever created, and I can play that a million times. I streamed it last year. I 100%ed it online. I can play that all day, every day, and that's what I'm always gonna do. But that was why I said that. And then again, GoldenEye. That was the game that used to almost ruin friendships when I was younger because, like, on the couch playing GoldenEye multiplayer was where it was at.
I thought that was
like with my brothers and their friends, and oh my god. Well, at the time, like a few years ago, we went to a con and we saw they had an N64 and they had GoldenEye. And we were like, man, I hadn't played GoldenEye in years. We picked up the controller and realized we had forgotten how to play GoldenEye. And we realized how far controls have come. Because back then, the way you moved with the joystick is not the same way you move in first-person shooters anymore. Back then, it was completely different with the Z button and all that. I was like, we used to really have to move like this? And it was just, at the time, we were used to it because we grew up with it, but then you went away from it and started getting like the PlayStation controllers, the Xbox controllers and stuff, and now it's like, that's what you're used to. So that was like that shock. But the days of running around in GoldenEye, especially if you turned Golden Gun on, so now everything was a one-shot kill. And it was so chaotic. But no, that was for me. But that's okay. Because
man, that was a tough last question to end on, man. Damn, that really put me through the ringer.
Look, that's why we call them the main event for a reason. But how are you guys feeling tonight?
Good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I've come down off of that adrenaline of having to pick, two babies of mine against each other. But yeah, we're good. We're good now. I just want to go play some more PS2 games right now.
And Ghost just brought up Pokemon Stadium that I used to play on repeat all day long. Me and my brothers and them used to have battles in Pokemon Stadium on N64, like real Pokemon battles. That was when my love for Pokemon was just at its peak. Like I would have challenged anyone at that game and told them that they were not beating me. But
your love is so real for Pokemon is when you play Pokemon in the bathroom. That was me.
Look, I was one of those people that was downtown at 2:00 in the morning trying to catch Pokemon in Pokemon Go.
Hey man, they still doing it out there,
and
man.
Nobody was out there. I was there by myself, just downtown in the middle of the night here. I'm just sitting on a bench trying to catch some Pokemon, and I'm like, there's nothing. Yep. I'm like, there's nothing here. And so I activated one of those things that attracts Pokemon, and they started popping up. I'm like, good. And I noticed once I activated it, cars started showing up and parking, and they got out and went and sat on the bed. I was like, I just attracted other people.
Community.
Yep. They just got off a long day of work and they want to catch Pokemon. It's soothing.
Look, man, especially when Pokemon Go first came out, I used to actually have it on when I would go out driving. And I understand that if you're going too fast, it won't pick it up. but I used to like go down streets and just creep down the street in my car to see if I could bump into a Pokemon. Like my Pokemon Go freaking addiction was outrageous. Truly, truly, truly outrageous. Shout out Jim the Holograms. But no, it was just Pokemon Go was crazy for me. And had that thing been out like 10 years now?
About like
Damn it.
probably,
Yeah, since college. Shoot.
yeah, since right after college for me, like 2015, 2016, I
I
think.
think it was
That's what I'm
2016.
saying. It's coming up. I think next year, I think it might be the 10-year anniversary of
Sheesh.
Pokemon.
Still going, yeah, still going strong. We were, when we were in LA this past weekend, we saw groups of people. We saw groups of people playing Pokemon Go, like in Little Tokyo. It was pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like the phenomenon isn't what it was, where people who would never play the game were also playing it. But now that you got, you know, them out of the way and you still got your fan base, like, no, Pokemon Go is still going crazy.
Mhm.
But no, I definitely appreciate you guys coming out here and chilling with us because, you know, we always try to keep the vibes going here on
Thank
the
you for having us,
podcast is
man,
real.
as always.
Thank you for having us, for real.
Thank you everybody in
Thank
the
you.
chat for sticking around as well.
Yes, sir.
Nah, we're definitely gonna see you guys at MomoCon. That way
Yeah,
we
a
can
couple
see you
weeks.
guys in
Right,
in
vocals will be in full effect
person.
'cause, you
That's
going
right, all
through
you
it,
big
the fact
celebs.
that you even hear vocals, putting your
Yeah.
voice and your throat through it. Like, shout out to you, man.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
I told him to take the night
I was
off.
about to say.
whoa!
I was about to say.
Hey!
Whoa, let's go.
Hey, why can't I wish him so well? Hold on.
Man, look,
Yeah, I'm feeling for him right now. He's going through the ringer.
I don't
it's
even
okay.
feel
Come
like
on,
you're
Troy.
done.
You know what? It's starting to get off the rails again, you guys.
I can't wish the man well.
Look
Damn.
here. Look, Kumar.
See, Rob gonna make this an AO moment just because.
I didn't say anything, bro. I'm just observing.
I'm clipping this.
I've
Girl, we have to clip this. Sorry, go ahead, Vocal.
I mean, we're only live. It's no big deal.
look, I appreciate it. I didn't want to. I know I'm going through it a lot right now, and it is. Hell, I ain't gonna lie. It's hurt. It's hurt right now to talk as we freaking speak. But
Anything you want to say before we get out? That way, that'll be the last thing you have to say.
oh no, absolutely. But no, I didn't want to. I know. If I be real, I didn't know I had a night off because I was like, I got a podcast stuff to do. I know I was off from work and everything today, and I know I should take this time to rest so I can be able to use my muscles and jaws and stuff. Because, like I said, my whole left side is not working as we technically talking right now. But nah, if I knew I had a night off, keyword, if I knew, I still wouldn't do it. That's just me.
But you know, we never talked about it. But you know, I'm health
No.
over everything.
Right.
I wasn't
But-
expecting you to be here.
I didn't want to. I left a lot of. There was when we were first doing season 1. There was a lot of moments where I couldn't be able to make it because of either jobs or anything like that, and I didn't want to let something. I know this is a
Valid.
very serious condition I'm in right now, but I didn't want to miss an episode for any episode for this season. So I wanted to tough this out as much as I can. So I appreciate you so much for
The second we end, you go
Yeah,
rest or do whatever
appreciate
you
it.
gotta do.
That's exactly
Just
what I was
don't
saying.
talk for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I'm legit. He's gonna look here if I don't get off or he's gonna kick me off. I already know how this is gonna go. So I'm gonna say this. I appreciate everybody with the checks up on me. It really means a lot because I was not expecting all y'all to run up on me that fast about the situation. So I appreciate everybody. I will try to do the anime recommendation. My anime recommendation of the week. I will excuse me. I will say ah, you know what? For your boy, I don't have one this week. I don't have one. I've been dying.
Fair enough.
No
I've been
thank
dying.
you.
So look,
There it is.
everybody have a blissful night. I'm gonna get up out of here. Rob,
All right.
Kumar, thank y'all
We'll
for
see you in a
coming
couple
by,
weeks, man.
man.
Feel
Hey,
better for
yo,
real.
trust me, this is gonna be cleared up by then,
We're gonna
and
see you at momocon, man.
you're gonna
We're
get a different side of me
we're
then.
definitely working on
sure.
it. Rob, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Man, vocals, heal up, bro. I appreciate you even hopping out. This is dope. Drell, thank you for having me. You know what I'm saying? Siri, thank you for having me. We're going to link at MomoCon anyway, so it's more
Oh
so
no,
like
absolutely.
see y'all in like what two and a half weeks or something
Two
like
and a
that.
half weeks, man.
I don't know my
Yeah,
calendar.
Just
gonna
make sure
hang
we
out,
don't.
vibe out, content, all that good stuff.
Just make sure
Everything.
we don't argue like we did at Trap Sushi, because we showed
Oh
they
yeah,
had a huge anime debate in the middle of a party, and
yeah.
your boy Jared pointed us out. That we were not turning up. We was
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like,
anime.
they're really in here debating anime in the middle of a club. It's like, yeah, we kind of
Yeah,
were.
yeah, we were. We were. Hey, when everybody that's what happened. We had all the big dogs in the city piled up in one. That's what happens.
It is what it is. Kumar, you got anything you want to say before we get out?
Thank you for having us. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys, all you guys at momocon, and you let us know, like you said, we gotta what's it called, a rain check on the Vegas trip. So when y'all have that, in the works or in the plans, you let us know. We're here.
I'm
Yeah, bro.
forever ready. I'm just waiting on the
Ah,
If you're
100%.
watching this,
This day
subscribe to the
one.
podcast is real.
Yeah, for real.
King of New York, anything you want to say before we get out?
Um. So, you know what? Actually, boom. So for anime recommendations, I definitely want to recommend My
Oh,
Hero Academia Vigilante.
take my
It's
job
really
then. Go
good.
for it.
And I'm not gonna front as a beginner. I was like, you know what, this might be like a different change, but it was absolutely the first episode got me hooked. You know what I mean? And for those of you that are into the izakais, the Brilliant Healer's New Life has been taking me for a loop. I'm not gonna front. I've been laughing. I've really been laughing because it wasn't what I expected at all. I was expecting another corny one to fall asleep to. I wind up staying up for like 3 whole episodes. Um, Also to bring the attention earlier, Castlevania. I'm not gonna front. Netflix is on a 4 for 4 roll right now between Arcane, Cyberpunk, Castlevania, and Devil May Cry. They are on a repeat, especially Lazarus. They're on a 5-peat right now. So definitely make sure to check those out. Also,
Right.
I want to say thank you to guest hosts here. Kumar. Oh my god, the guys that pay my bills. You know what I mean? They just make content all the time, and listen, from Spider-Man to anime battles, Shonen Showdowns. I just like to say thank y'all here to the host with the most, King Drell. Thank you for having all of us here, putting it together, and the singer vocals, the man that will make a penny drop with a single high note. You know what I mean? It just goes off and on. You know what I mean? So, to you, Drell.
Thank you so much, Jasirii. Before we get out of here, I just got to throw the last thing out here. We appreciate everybody for coming out to the podcast is real. Make sure that y'all check us here next week, same time. We got a queen sliding through. You're definitely not going to want to miss that episode of the podcast is real. But before we get out, I want everybody to be reminded, as I have on the screen, that we are trying to get this podcast to 1,000 subscribers. And if you will see on the screen right now, we have our Summer Drew 1,000 subscriber challenge. She has said if we get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of July, she is going to put on her Emma Frost cosplay and she is going to recreate the emote walking video, jiggle and all, from Marvel Rivals. Y'all know y'all want to see that. So we already know. We say it all the time.
What is going on?
All the time.
Summer said it. Summer said it, bro.
Right here on YouTube. We got the clip. I repost it every week,
so
y'all don't forget. So tell your friends, tell your friends, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your cousins, tell your uncles. If you got pets, take them to obedience school, teach them how to subscribe to the podcast. We need everything that we need in here so to get to 1,000. So make sure you guys get on that because I think we can do it if we all just stick together and make this thing happen. So with that being said, for the content king over here, Rob, aka Shonen Showdown, for the man that goes out there all the time and just gets these crazy content, these brand deals, is all over the place, Mr. Kumar, for the king of New York, Jasirii out here, for my co-host / nephew Vocals, I am King Drell, and just remember, Kumar's One Piece knowledge might be small, but the podcast, just like Vocals for showing up today, is real. You guys have a good week next week, and we'll see you next time. Salute! And we'll go ahead.